It started with flowers, now she wants everything. She wants your money, she's inside of your head. Started with flowers, now she wants a wedding ring. She calls you honey from another man's bed. And I don't even know if she's serious. Oh, you don't even know if she's serious. Oh, do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Let me hear you sing. Oh, do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Let me hear you sing. And I don't even know if you're serious. Oh, you don't even know if you're serious. Oh, and I don't even know if you're serious. Oh, you don't even know if you're serious. Oh, do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Let me hear you say, oh, do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Let me hear you say. Let me hear you say.
On the whole, do you feel happy or do you feel...
I feel so happy.
What happened to this feeling, messianic feeling that you described before?
I feel that it's, if that's what I described, I feel that it's very valid.
Welcome everybody here to the TG Diamond League live on Connecting Esports. We welcome you once again to our very famous TG League, and it's gonna be the first stream of the season number 5, and I'm joined by none other than the most famous man on this planet when it comes to casting. It's Sherlock, of course.
Holy moly, have you heard that, everybody? I'm the most famous on the planet. We are so lucky to have that here in the Connecting Esports, right?
True. But yeah, we are waiting for both teams to ready up on Challenger mode as always. It's the first week still, everybody's stressed, everybody's like, oh my god, what's Challenger mode? But yeah, of course they are figuring it out. In the meantime, we do have... Wait. Oh, I just realized it's not showing the correct thingy. No, it is. Okay. We do have beautiful graphics to look at, as well as maybe some background information. So, first off, before we get into talking about the teams, we should talk about the TG League in a whole. And I think, Sherlock, you've been with us quite some time, so you are aware of how we work, what we do, and I think it's been quite enjoyable, and we had some funny moments, some silly moments, and some actually really, really interesting professional competitive moments as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm really excited to, start yet another split of all of this amateur play. I love to just watch every single one of these teams come up with their own unique play styles, their own unique identity, pretty reminiscent of teams like Medieval Esports, for example, with their unique compositions in the bot lanes, right? Everybody remembers the things like Queen Bard, Pantheon Bard, the electrocute full AP Zag that they came up with months ago now.
Yeah.
And so we are back for yet another split of that, with a lot of fresh names on the board, by the way.
Yeah, we have so many new and upcoming teams, actually. A lot of CE teams, actually, also rebranded and new, like we can see today. Penta Potential, which is now CE Snow as well. ELG Sports coming your way. So this is going to be the first game that we're going to be touching on this week, and the first week of the Season 5 of the TG Diamond League. TG Platinum League already did have their games played out yesterday for the first day, and they will return tomorrow. Most likely will be streamed as well, so we're looking to stream every day now again. Make sure to get that information to everybody, because yeah, it's always nice to see our numbers go back up on Twitch and interact with the community, have the fun betting games, as well as chit chat about compositions, trolls, ins, orc plays, everything. But yeah, like I said, waiting for both teams. And you did scout the teams a bit, so you find anything interesting you want to share already, or do we keep it for the draft?
Yeah, so I feel like there was a lot to discuss first, because it's been a month since we last had competitive League of Legends on the Connecting Esports. So obviously not only the teams have changed, but also the game has changed a lot, right? And we started to see some weird picks sprout here and there in solo queue, and also in a bit in pro play. Stuff like, for example, Volibear, most noticeably, has come out a lot, both in the top lane and also in the jungle. So watch out for this new pick. It's very strong right now, especially in amateur play. It's been started to be picked up a lot in pro play as well. But in amateur, Volibear is that kind of pick where it's not that strong on its own, but what's really making it powerful is that people are not used to play against it a lot yet, because it's pretty new. So the pick in itself has a lot of power from your opponent being ignorant of what the pick can do and what the pick allows you to do. And because of that, I do believe it has a high priority. right now. Some other very interesting stuff that we've seen coming up is the fiddlestick pick that has started to gain a lot more popularity, especially with a very tanky kind of build, and also a very newcomer to the amateur scene now is the Kog'Maw full AP build in the mid lane or in the bottom lane as a support, where you have a lot of poke, all of the AP ratios on the Q and also I think on the W have been buffed, and so once you hit the level 11, you have your ultimate rank 2. You also have the Seraph's End in your inventory. You can start spamming the living artillery like crazy and just chunk down the enemy team like crazy and prevent them from even considering contesting objectives. It's very well fitted into like poke compositions that we see a lot now, like with Ezreal, Zoe, Yumi, and stuff like this. So it's a very good pick right now, and I do believe that a lot of teams will be willing to pick that up.
I do agree with you on this one. There's a lot of new strategies coming out, and since it's been actually quite some time since we last have seen the TG League on stream here, we will have some very new and interesting compositions as well as strategies coming our way. I'm just checking real quickly on our teams because they did have a last-minute switch up in one of the teams. I think ELG Sports had to get substitute approved on Challenger mode, so they are in contact with the Challenger mode support. I also want to shout out here once again, partnered with Challenger mode. Connecting Esports has been growing. We have reached nearly the 2K mark, 2,000 members mark on the Connecting Esports own space here on challengermode.com/s/connecting esports. So definitely make sure to follow us there. You will get all the latest updates on our tournaments, most likely the TG League, the TG Valorant League, or Weekend Cups, and many more to come. Unique Championship, also a big name in there that has been a big collaboration last season, and they will be looking to make more splits happen with us. Also right now, I'm just checking on Challenger mode. Both teams are about to be ready. Looks like CE Snow is patiently waiting for ELG Sports here to get readied up, and once that is done, we do have the game right on your way. But yeah, maybe let's talk about who's actually in this TG Diamond League. Have you checked out the other teams?
Yeah, I did actually. I saw a lot of new names, but also a lot of some house-branded names like Taria, Avers, some players that we used to see a lot in the past splits. Even if it was under very different banners like Prodigies and Team XD, but I'm very glad that we get to see a lot of these old players, old connecting players coming back for more splits.
Yeah, I agree. Old connecting esports players is what you could call them, but all competitors of the TG League is what I would refer to them. But I agree. It's very nice to see the names come back. It's even nice to see the people on chat here. Like we have already the random 101 coming in. I've heard Import is coming back. Yeah, exactly. Import is back. Like, hello, throwback to season 1. Like, what is going on? So many old names coming back here. Just happy to be here, happy to have this experience, and of course, happy to experience this with you, Sherlock, because I know you're the man since the beginning, so it's very, very interesting to see how everything comes together in the end.
Yeah, all of us together, we are the connecting veterans who just built the keystone of this community all together.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see all of these prominent names on stream, of course. Right now, we're just waiting once again for the teams.
Yeah, definitely. So if you want to speak a bit about these teams, specifically like the two that are going to clash tonight, ELG and CE Snow, I've been checking a lot what they could come up with in terms of like solo lanes, champion pools, maybe even some like flex games and whatnot. And I do feel like this game is going to be a very particular one, in the sense that it's either all or nothing. One team is going to get smashed, or it's going to be a farm fest, resident sleeper until 40 minutes. There will be no in between, because the two bot lanes, which haven't changed from through all of the roster swaps, through all of the emergency roster swaps, both bot lanes have the exact same playstyles with the exact same champion pools. Both supports are very heavy Thresh players, and would rather play engaged champions than like Ardent Center, more protective kind of champions. And both AD carries default to very utility-oriented type of picks like Ashe, Varus, Ezreal, Kai'Sa, than like big hyper carries like Aphelios, Senna, or whatever. So this bot lane is going to be impacted a lot by the individual skill discrepancy, I feel like. And if the bot lane that is weaker on the paper manages to respect their opponent, that's what will bring this game into the long run. You know, like this is what's going to be the key aspect of that game, whether or not you manage to snowball the bot lane based on we are the better players.
Yeah.
And the jungle involvement in all of that is going to be very important as well, because there are some very spicy picks in the jungle. I don't want to spoil anything yet because we might see some of them, and I want that to remain a surprise in the draft. But for real, this is going to be really impactful for the bot lanes in terms of jungle champion pool.
Yeah, and seems like ELG Sports is taking quite some time to ready up on the website, but hey, we'll get there eventually, so don't lose interest just yet. We're gonna get there. Also, I need to find out why.
When you have to use the challenger mode application for the first time, you're like,
yeah,
like lost maybe.
What is this? But then the ELG Sports is not that unknown. I think Malik has been with us for some time, so we just give them a friendly reminder.
Yeah. Just very friendly. And he's tier 6 on challenger mode, so he doesn't even have an excuse for not getting ready.
Yeah. So he's a veteran as well as tier 4, so both of these guys are veterans when it comes to challenger mode, not just to connecting esports. But yeah, let's maybe talk a bit about the teams. I know you mentioned a few names, but let me get actually into the TG Diamond here in the group stage. So we do have in Group A, we have CE Mist, Rocket Cornova, Imports coming back, big surprise there. The Invincibles has joined. Wash Esports, also a name we have already seen. Elevated Esports, same for them. Welcome back, boys. Elemented Stray Dogs and T-Nameless, those two teams are new. Service Esports making their comeback here in Group B, as well as Timely Grace, AFK Hotel Esports, CE Snow, which we're going to expect it today, RC Flair, and the Dutch community team, of course. And next, Glitch Esports, as well as ELG Sports, who are going to be competing today on the screen for you guys. This ain't Valorant? No, this is indeed not Valorant. Let me fix that. I actually realized that now. Thank you for telling us. I don't know how this was not Valorant, but yes, we'll be working on that real quick.
You have to be very specific that amongst all of these new names, some of these teams are like mashups of old veteran connecting players, like Timely Grace, for example, which is composed of Flatline, Innocence, Elusive, Nowhere, and Snade. So names that do have a consequent legacy in the connecting community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe legacy is actually the right word, even though that reminds me of some bad things. But hey, actually, it is good to see that some people have indeed built up their home here in connecting esports, because a lot of them actually stay after the tournaments, and the teams do enjoy their time here with us. I mean, yes, it's not like the big community thing just yet, but we do have some friendships building. We have some people coming back, enjoying game nights with us, enjoying Scriblio nights, whatever it is. Like, we do a lot of things actually with the teams, and particularly as well as outsider teams that do grow very firmly friendships with us. Just reading up on what the captain here of ELG Sports is telling me in regards of the delay. So he did have contact with the Challenger mode support, and the lobby will be shortly remade. Okay, he's just gonna delete all of these messages, but hey, it's fine.
Oops.
As long as it starts now, we will be happy. So that is all we are here. We do get the code, so that means we get into the lobby, and hopefully we will have our very, very first PentaQ draft coming up our way. Do you need it? I don't think you need the link. You are very experienced. If you're not already in here, are you? Wait,
There I am.
oh yeah, you're already
Yeah,
in
the
here. Yeah,
lobby
I'm
is,
just blind. Yeah.
Lobby is filling up quite quickly now. Just waiting on one more player.
There we go. Just looking at what else has been told to me. Okay, good.
So yeah, as I've said before, right, the goal for today is not really to make a statement for the other teams and whatnot. It's really more about for us as viewers to get to know these new teams. You know, to really consider it like a speed dating where you kind of like meet with the new names, learn what they can do, and see if you can level up your expectations for them coming into the playoffs, which is the ultimate goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever these new faces have impressive performances early in the split, it's already a good sign for the long run of that team, you know, because they do have like usually the main point in building up a new roster is managing to find the right synergy between the players, having everyone being set on the same page so that whenever you play, everyone can be moving as a single entity in the game. And so if you do manage to get that right out of the bat in the very first games of the season, it's already one step closer to the playoffs.
Yeah, I do give them the links because they are apparently unable to do anything today, but hey, it's fine. We'll get there. Draft link for the website.
Hey, you're the one doing the PentaQ now.
Yeah, since they do take quite some time, and I don't want to let our stream boys wait any longer. Coolio. So with that being said, we do have our virtual draft coming up. I'm just curious to why it does not show me the right logo here. Wasn't ELG already part of it once?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, right. Where it happened to the logo? Well, we'll figure it out. In the meantime, we do wait for both teams to get onto that PentaQ draft.
So once again, everybody, you have to watch out for these priority picks in the draft, especially in the bans. It's going to be very interesting to see whether or not one of these teams decides to leave the picks open and try to deny it to their opponents, since as I said before, a lot of the champion pools of the bot lanes quite heavily resembles each other. So picks like Thresh, for example, Alistar, Kai'Sa, Ezreal, which is getting banned right now, are going to be either left open or snatched away. So both teams are kind of playing a chess game and trying to think what the enemy is going to be picking and what are they going to be leaving open for you to get. And this is a game that already starts on the red side, because that first pick is going to be so pivotal for the identity of the ELG draft, and also for the shift around that CSNO is probably going to be able to put up in the second half of that draft. So you have to watch out for this ban phase, as it's going to be really really pivotal.
Okay, we do have the draft starting as you can see, and they have moved a bit slowly to the pick and ban phase. Right now we're still in the ban phase. We do see Oriana off the board, Soraka off the board, and then for Snow they did go for that Licin and Ezreal pick away. So they're definitely making sure that those are not going to be played right now. And this already shows a bit of respect from each team, realizing the capabilities that the enemy might have. And now let's see what they have in mind for their last ban on this blue side. ELG Sports looking to ban out one more champion before Snow will have they go at it, and then we do see the first pick coming through.
And that's really interesting, actually, the way that Snow and that Snow is banning right now, because they do not take any time to think about anything, right? They just ban things straight away. So this makes me thinking that Snow is actually showing up with maybe a game plan, a draft plan, and they know what they want. You know, they already have a composition in mind. Now, with the Thresh being banned away, which is, you know, like the biggest priority pick in that draft, I think that they might want to rethink their game plan a bit and try to think of an answer in the support role to the alternative that they want to draft instead of the Thresh. So might be the I-Star, might be something like, for example, the Bard, which is really proficient right now in amateur play. Instead, they're going to go for the Syndra ban, which is yet one of the powerhouses of amateur play in the mid lane. Very safe and very efficient, and has a lot of kill threats at level 6. So obviously one of the best picks for skirmishes in early games.
Yeah. Also, I mean, they're taking their time for the first pick here, because definitely it's also first game for them, I believe, with the TG Diamond League here. Everybody's just taking it slow, making sure everything is going according to plan, no mess-ups right away, like, for example, messing up the stream title. But yeah, we are now in the right category. It is League of Legends, not Valorante, that will be coming soon back. And there we have Set first pick.
Set first pick, which, strangely enough, right, is completely absent from the OPGG of the support. So this is making me think that this most probably might go to the top or jungle position, especially considering that Snow's top player is a huge player of Aatrox. His solo queue history with a champion is showing really good results, and also he appears to have a very good mastery of that champion. Now, whether or not it's going to shine through in his in a team play environment is left to answer, but there it is locked in now. Varus as well, so one of the utility AD carry we've been talking about.
Yeah, I do believe the Varus and Aatrox are showing an aggressive approach, as well as ELG's Set just picking something, well, a valuable champion right now, I would say. Has a lot of high priority when it comes to these ranked games, but in competitive play, it has well, dulled down a bit, and there's the other one that has dulled down as well recently, the Senna pickup here, and this could mean there's still the Set Senna bot lane, but yeah, to be seen.
For now, I really do like this draft so far. I have the Set first pick, which is like one of the best flex picks right now. Very the multi-use kind of pick. It can basically do anything, and you can build it with, like, you can have multiple various itemization on him, which kind of enables one side or another side of his kit, more defensive oriented, more offensively oriented. And so pairing it with a Senna, that yet again, right, the Senna enables a lot of freedom as in what you're going to pair her with, because we've seen a lot of like Senna Tankens, Senna Soraka and stuff. Senna Set also could be an option, but the thing that is the most interesting right now is that you can actually pair the Senna with another high damage dealer or carry, and still she's going to be able to output a lot of damage. And even if she does decide to go for a very supportive type of build, she's still going to find a lot of utility with the Glacial Augment build. And then again, she can kind of deny some backline threat with the Grasp Frozen Mallet build. So right now, the Kled is being locked in straight away by ELG. And Sea Snow just responds with the Karma lock-in, so standard poke, doubled Comet, maybe bot lane on the side of Sea Snow. And now the second Baron phase has started. ELG will have the option of sending the set up to the top lane or jungle and maybe pick a support that will do better into the Varus Karma than the sets, I would expect. So, actually.
Yeah, I mean, seeing this Vega here tells me that Sea Snow does not think this is the support set, but
yeah,
to be seen, like I said. But also curious about this Karma. I mean, yes, it's a very common pick with the Varus because you have this poke bot lane, as you mentioned, but she does quite heavily range also on the damage supports because she does put out a lot of damage, and she has therefore however, a deficit when it comes to roaming, for example, because her roaming ganking capabilities are not as good. She's only there to give shielding and put out the slow, maybe if the W goes too, but it very rarely does. So yeah, that's definitely giving up on a bit of map presence for lane presence.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Sea Snow is really going for the throat of the ELG players, just with that Aatrox already in the red 1 position. Because, you know, when you have the Varus, it's like the kind of pick that has multiple identities, and then you can shift around to enable a specific identity for the Varus. And the thing is that locking him straight away with the Aatrox, even if it's just a comfort pick and not really that much of a priority pick for Sea Snow's composition, it's just that the things that Aatrox do, right? He's a pick. It's a pick that likes to go in hard. It's a pick that likes it when the enemy team has to walk into him, and it's a pick that likes to go aggressive in the early laning phase, and that likes to be paired with like a very aggressive jungler. Something, for example, like a Nidalee, which would also do very good with the Varus Karma, by the way.
Banning out the Echo also tells me that Snow has a jungler already in mind that could potentially get countered by the Echo, but then again, we have seen some Echo mid lanes very recently.
Yeah.
So
also not actually blind, for example, is very very fond of that kind of champion in the mid lane right now. And now the Zac being locked in, so then again, right? It just tells you how much Sea Snow wants to emphasize the laning phase in that game, picking the Zac, which is like one of the most gank prone jungler in the game right now, especially in amateur. It's going to do a lot of work, especially against already 2 immobile laners like the Senna and the Set. Kled not so much, has a little bit of mobility, but he needs it to trade anyway. And Aatrox does have the engage needed to make the Kled blow that mobility away. And so that Zac is really well thought of. Now ELG locking in the Ivern, which is the jungle pick that I had in mind when I said I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but really that Ivern and also the Nidalee of Sea Snow were 2 picks that we tend to not see that much in amateur, but yet are very powerful in the meta, especially right now.
Yeah, very powerful is a good word when you see these champions right now. I mean, Ivan Azir, this screams like, look at me, I'm running around and being silly, and the other one screams like, I will come from Shurima and shuffle you to death, you know? But yeah, definitely an interesting lineup here by ELG Esports, bringing this one out, and Sea Snow have their last seconds here remaining to lock in the last pick. And I mean, the Zac jungle is really something I have enjoyed watching because just of the ways and the patterns that he can gank, and the Kassadin being picked up right now does tell me that Sea Snow is looking for also a late game carry, and that's kind of the only thing they have been missing, right?
I mean, yeah, sure. And not only do they get that late game insurance, but also in a good matchup. Casting into Azir is one of the places where he's just feeling comfortable having that anti-mage fiber into his kit.
Yeah.
And also when you take the Kassadin in a composition like this, so you have Aatrox very aggressive on the side lane, Varus and Karma, so most probably the enemy bot lane will be low on their lane. And also you have the Zac, a very gank-heavy jungler that likes to accompany his mid laner, who can also quite easily free his own mid lane. It's just screaming at me, roaming Kassadin. I think that the moment he hits 6, you're gonna see him a lot trying to get the pressure on his lane to roam around and impact the lane as soon as possible. And usually that kind of playstyle is the best one that a Kassadin can put out to impact the early to mid game. So I'm very excited for this lineup actually.
Yeah, same. I mean, very excited is the right word here because I'm looking forward to what they have in mind. And right now you can see that the Kled has been locked in for the top lane. So this will mean it would be a set support.
Yeah, by the way.
Also the Azir versus Kassadin. I mean, you mentioned it briefly, but I'm seeing very dark days for Kassadin in comfort, but once he hits that level 6, he will have this ability of, well, joining the Aatrox in the top lane, of joining his jungler on his adventures, or even joining this bully bot lane where he has the double poke coming through. So it's not the worst scenario, but it's a very dire scenario, at least until the level 6.
Yeah, I mean, of course, right? That pick is like not likely to get the pressure pre-level 6, but the thing is that that's not the moment where you want to make plays. And the thing is that you do not have a jungler on the enemy team who can really benefit from Kassadin being super weak pre-6 with the Ivern. So I'm not underestimating the power of the Walking Tree. I'm just saying that something more aggressive like an Olaf or Xin Zhao, Zac even, or Sejuani has a lot more gank threat on the Kassadin than the Ivern. So Kassadin is really not in such an endangered position, especially considering that Azir, if he wants to commit to a play super hard, there is still that threat of the Zac being somewhere in the fog of war. So you can't really fully commit onto any play. And I do believe that Kassadin is really going to be having a great time because he's not going to be threatened that much. And then once he unlocks that level 6, he's really going to be going ham. And when you look at ELG's composition, in the mid game, they don't have anything aside from the set and the Kled. Maybe if he is successful in that top lane, there is not really a one pick where Kassadin is feeling comfortable facing on a side lane, for example, throughout the whole mid game. So I do believe that this comp is really good on Seasnow. I'm placing my coin on them for this match. But now, as I've said before, right, the skill discrepancy is going to be a big factor coming into that game. So we'll have to just watch the players perform by themselves before really giving anyone the win.
Yeah, that's very true. We do have, once again, as always, the spectator like coming in. For those who are a bit familiar with how we do things, I mean, I'm a bit hesitating here, but why not? Let's go. So, starting the bet right now, if you look into your Twitch chat, you have the ability of betting on a team, either the blue side or the red side. And actually, let me look at, I haven't looked at this for some time. So, if you do the exclamation mark points, you will get awareness of how many points, how many points you do have in your inventory. And with these points, you can bet anything between 10 and 10,000 on the existing teams. There was I think we will be resetting this actually after Season 5, maybe. So yeah. And then go ahead and bet on teams. So I'm not going to bet on anyone. I'm going to wait out. I'm going to see how these teams play because it's a lot of new things coming through here, even though we have some names as Marks, Melik, and of course Nevermore back here on Connecting Esports. But the other way around, my friends.
Ah, damn it. The thing is that I didn't want to give anyone the win yet, as I said, but if you are not betting, I have to take advantage of that opportunity to try and catch up on you, my friend. So,
Well, catching up is a good thing. Let me look at this top here. Hey, I'm top 1. Let's go, boys. Oh yeah, of
holy
course.
moly.
Oh yeah, okay, good. I just got my set homework, but everything fine. Yeah, so basically, how you do this: you bet on the team, left side, blue side. Right side is left side, blue side. Right side is red side. And then if they win, if you are correct with your bet, like your prediction of the game end, you will get paid out. And the more people bet against you, the more points you can gather, and the more faster and more preciously you will be this ranking up in this top 10, because the top 10 is very, very greedy. You can see even Streamlabs has made it in there, and the random who has been in chat before. But yeah, Streamlabs of course is in there because of watch time, but we have to remove their points sometime soon, I think, just to make it fair for anybody else who wants to join those top 10. Ooh, I see. Insidious has 51k points as well. See what they have in mind. Mister, are you gonna bet? If so, let us know. But yeah, big shout out to Challenger Mode for once again being the partner for Season 5 of the TG Diamond League. We also won a TG Platinum League. If you have any questions, any information at all, feel free to join our Discord and message us. And also, go ahead and check down below underneath the stream the little bit of a explanation about who we are, what we do. If you're new here, it will definitely get you some information about the organization and of course everything else. Oh, what happened to the expected to delay? Aha, they changed it. Interesting. Well, nonetheless, we are in game and we will be getting ready to explore and have a look at what they have in mind when it comes to runes.
Yeah, let's go, boys. Now we have finally entered that draft, and so already the thing that is jumping straight at me is the glacial augment on the center. You have two modes currently on that this champion can default to, which are the glacial augment build and the grasp build, where she gets super tanky and kind of like negates the threat of the Cassin / Varus / Zac Aatrox that rush into her to kill her because she's sitting on like 3,000 health and so. But that kind of build is less damage oriented and more like supportive, should I say? And the thing is that right there, she is running with the glacial augment. So the goal for her is to just be sitting in the back line and give Azir a lot more, and sit with the Azir and dish out a lot of long range damage, and also try to help the Ivern, the Set, and the Kled find an opportunity, a catch or an engage by slowing down these targets at like 1,000 range or whatnot.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, we have these top laners here just sitting in the bush. Okay, there's the ward coming out. I was about to say they will be meeting soon. Let's have a look at where the jungler starts. So Ivan, of course, doing this normal clear path of losing HP and not gaining levels, but that's pretty usual for this guy. Meanwhile, we do have Zac on the other side here taking his blue buff just now. Therefore, he will be level 2 and have this XP advantage, but as soon as Ivan comes back to collect his cams, he'll be in a great spot.
And now what's really interesting also is that Ivern beneficiates a lot from the same thing that I was talking about for Volibear earlier, where a lot of people do not know well the pick, because you only meet rarely in solo queue, and so you don't know a lot about his pathing, his ganking patterns, and so. And because of that, you have the potential for of surprising your opponent a lot, and some of the gank setups that you can pull off with Ivern are pretty tricky, especially in the early game. So you have to watch out for a gank on, for example, the Cassin that you were talking about being vulnerable. You also have to fear a gank of the Ivern in that bot lane, especially given that since the Varus is running the lethal tempo rune and not the Comet, and also he doesn't have a lot of stats yet under his belt, they do not have they do not have enough poke to actually out-sustain the Senna and the Set in the early game.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, There's a move into topside
Yeah,
jungle right
Flash
now.
has been blown here by boosting. He's gonna go down for the passive right now. Kassadin is here to join, but I don't think he can do much to yeah. Oh, actually, Kassadin exploding. A little bug, but is it enough? No, it is not. It's gonna be first blood. Nevermore taking so much low. But yeah, so they did get the TP out of the Kassadin. They did get the flash out of the Zac here, and they do manage to pick up first blood here. ELG drawing this first blood of the TG Diamond League in their favor.
And that is pivotal for ELG to absorb the early game of that Zac, because remember, right, he's been drafted for the for emphasizing the lane phase of the laners of CE Snow. So taking him down is great for them. Now abusing that Kassadin in the mid lane, just gonna walk away. And so yeah, that first blood is going to be so much. Is going to be doing so much to make the jungle gap even to grow the jungle gap even further between that Ivern and that Zac. Especially considering that neither of these junglers are very good at doing the objective solo, but Ivern does have an edge with the Daisy once he hits the level 6. So look at him go, he's back again in the mid lane.
They are back in mid lane, they want to punish this Kassadin, but this guy still has the flash. We see it blown there as well as in the bot lane. We do have some HP advantages coming through, but Zed is getting quite beefy. Like with the level ups, he's gonna gain some XP. With the XP, he's gonna gain some HP is what I meant to say. So he's definitely not gonna look as squishy anymore. I mean, Senna's the most vulnerable target here, but she's just gonna be here to heal and poke for now.
Yeah, and so the weird thing for me is that the decision of ELG to keep the set as a support rather than hopping it around in the jungle or in the top lane, because
and it's not bad into the Aatrox, right?
Yeah, it's not that great because you like. Oh, hold on, top lane, a little gang just gonna run away. Bot lane getting pretty low as well.
Yeah, both lanes actually pretty low, but top lane has been called up. In the bottom lane, it's just some more HP traded, I think. They're just looking to reset here, as we have Aatrox actually going aggressive. He's going to demount, and now Nevermore has shown up to join the party. Luckily for them, boosting for free has already left, because this could have been a very bad ending for Declared here.
But yeah, so basically you, as you were saying, right, Aatrox beneficiates a lot more from Set running into him than Set does of Aatrox running into him. And so, even though you do draft yourself,
I'm not sure what they're trying to do here, but there was an aggressive flash forward by Declared here. He did lose that trade in the end, and Ivan here now has to help him push out this lane, while Jon Snow is just going to sit perfectly fine at the tower with, well, ultimate and cooldown, but everything else available. So no danger of dying just yet. He's going to pick up this wave, most likely going to reset, same will Declared.
yeah, just going to be backing off quite nicely. But yeah, so I was tackling the issue of that set, and the thing is that it's when you have the Varus and the Karma being locked in so early in that draft, you know that you're basically never going to be able to reach them out, especially when the Karma has the empowered shield that you can put on everyone at once. You know that you're not going to be doing anything, right? You do have the Hex Flash because you're running the Omni Stone. But the thing is that even with the Phase Rush, it's not relevant. You're never going to be able to actually proc that Phase Rush to get the movement speed off. And now Zac finds himself rooted, but will just slingshot away thanks to a gap in the CC rotation.
Yeah, we do have this Ocean Drake that we haven't touched on at all yet. 8 minutes in, no objectives taken so far. That's actually pretty damn impressive for a TG Diamond game. We most likely always have some jungle control, but this shows how unpredictable an Ivan is. Like, it's so hard to keep track of this guy. He has already mobility boost completed, and damn, that's a lot of damage coming through here for the Varus, and he's even looking to go on-hit Varus. I just realized he's not even playing poke Varus.
Yeah, that's what the Lethal Tempo rune was telling about him in that lane.
Yeah, I did not even see that one, because I saw the comment poking every time they have a fight, but it was of course the comment from Karma. So yeah, misleading there, but it is the on-hit Varus, and he's winning the trade so far. Of course, the Senna is just there to feast. That's the point of feasting.
That's
Senna.
not the right comment you were looking at.
Yeah.
Like the Star Wars meme with the Obi-Wan, with
Yes,
Obi-Wan
exactly.
washing your mind. But yeah, you mentioned the Drakes, and Ivern is still level 5, so we're not going to be seeing any Drake being taken out unless we do have a kill on the bot lanes for added pressure. And that's just how it is because of the jungle matchup right now. If we did have a Nidalee, for example, that would have been a long gone Drake, especially given that Nidalee has a lot of pace in the early game. Her tempo is like one of the best tempo in the early game, along with maybe Olaf and Urdia maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that Zac is like one of the polar opposites, where if he cannot find the right ganking opportunities, if he cannot find the right lane ganks and lane paths, he's not going to be doing much in the early lane phase, and he's just going to be farming his jungle relatively safely and try to wait for the team fight, for the laning phase to end, and into the team fight where this pick will start to shine a lot more, especially compared to the Ivern.
Yeah, we do have some stall games, so like they're definitely just stalling it out right now. Everybody's relaxing a bit. No aggressiveness. The only interesting part is always this top lane. It goes back and forth, both of these guys just bullying each other. But if you look at the CS across the board, it's actually pretty damn close. Like, of course, the bot lane is losing a bit, but yeah, that is to be expected.
Yeah, especially considering you're running the Senna, you know that you need another pick that has to take the farm. And when that pick is the set who cannot walk up without taking soaking up damages, you have to expect to be down in CS. What I would have loved to see actually would have been Azir and Senna being paired together, but now top.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna get to kill it. I mean, sorry, I don't know if they're gonna be even aware of this Drake here being killed, but the top lane did go down in this intervention, so top lane finally Aatrox showing why he is the superior top laner. As we do have Ivan meeting Kassadin here on the other side, they trying to regain control of this objective as well as in the bot lane. Ooh, Set just barely misses that pullback there on his E, but they will be calling off the Herald, and well, all they got in trade for this Drake was this top lane kill. In the end, ELG Sports still happy with taking that trade.
And it's such a shame, by the way, because he does have the Predator, which is maybe the only time where you really have the opportunity of walking up to the enemy laners and catching them up. So every time you do not capitalize on that rune specifically, you're losing out on an opportunity.
Yeah, and right now we do see a gank attempt at least, but they're playing it very smart here on the bot lane. They're not showing too much of a safe play in the bot lane so that they waste more time, but now they're in a very tricky situation and they do realize they do back off, so very good call here. You just
Azir
back
has
away.
walked up. He does have the Emperor's device, so really good play by Bullsaft and Exi to walk so far back, because they know that they can't be safe from an Emperor's divide into the enemy bot lane.
Yep.
That's the kind of respect that I was talking about earlier when I said, oh, it's going to be a farm fest if they manage to show this amount of respect. That was specifically what I was mentioning, right? Because you have two laners who shouldn't be paying that much respect to the enemy bot lane, who could very well fall to lane ganks of the Ivern, who could very well get caught by the Predator of the set, for example, and yet you can see they are just capitalizing on CS discrepancy, and that's about it. They are just playing the safe game, knowing that whether Kassadin with the Aatrox as a frontline and the Zac as an engage, paired with the power of the unhit Varus, they do not have to do anything to win that game. It's just going to get it's just going to be won on its own once they manage to hit that team fight phase.
Yeah, and look how cheeky this is actually by the Zac. He's gonna finish this Herald here, not spotted by the ward, so Ivan was right next to him, clearing this pink ward here. Did not spot him, and that means they will at least get one Herald here picked up for them. And with plating going down in about 50 seconds here, it is very much time to take those 2 last platings in the top lane. That's why we see boosting here. Walk up and put that Herald down, as well as an aggressive engage onto the Kled, and Kassadin even has joined, but Azir is about to join as well. Let's see if they will go aggressive. There we go. Engage happening as well as on the bot lane. We do see Nevermore here going into Kugas. He's going to hit. Damn, that was a beautiful bind here. He's going to, however, take so much damage and gets taken down there. Not the right call, buddy, there. You will never more be doing this. I tried really hard for that one, didn't I?
I think so, yeah. And I do think that this play deserves some question pings at least, because that was really... really dubious.
Yeah. With TP in the mid lane as well, by Kassadin realizing he does not want to give up these last platings before the 15 seconds are over here, and the plating will go down. And overall, if you look at plating real quick, no platings taken on any lane for CE Snow besides the top lane. However, on ELG Sports side, they do have 2 platings in the bot lane as well as in the mid lane. So I would say 4 to 5 platings is pretty even. But of course, the first tower gold is definitely helping here. CE Snow, you can see them sitting at comfortably 2,000 gold lead. Also explained by the last kill, plus, of course, that first tower.
Yeah, but right now it's going to be a whole different world for the bot lane of ELG. Hold on, because Zach just flashed out from that Ivern.
Yeah, Ivan is to be respected if he has a red buff. That is to be made very clear. He does look very goofy and does not have a lot of instant damage output, but he is definitely able to hold his own there against the Zac that is low on HP. Therefore the respect flash from the Zac just to stay safe.
A small auto attacks deal a lot of damage when you add up 2 or 3 of them, so you always have to be careful, especially if you're the Zac, you know, you do not have that much skirmishing power. And now a dive is orchestrated onto the bot side of the map.
And that is a very good dive here indeed. We do see Zed running away with his life, but the first victim will be the Varus here, blowing both his Summoner's Flash and Heal on cooldown. And now actually was trying to get the redemption kill onto Twismal. He will be taken down in the end as well by the Ivan. But on the other side, we do have something interesting happening. We do see Jon Snow here getting knocked back by the Kled ultimate just to cancel that TP, because that could have been the turnaround for the bot lane play, as well as the red team turret destroying tier 2 tower in the top lane and losing a tier 1 in the bot lane.
And right now, this does mean, however, that Aatrox will be able to find a little bit more pressure on the top side of the map. And at the same time, you can see Zac and Kassadin getting onto that Drake. It's a split fight all over the map.
Yeah, this is very split, so we have double interests here in the top lane, Zed and Kled here up there. Oh my god, Zac already taken below very low HP. He's gonna go to his passive. The Drake will be taken and secured by, of course, Nevermore here. Heading out of that smite, but now we have a very funny situation here. Kassadin in big trouble. He's gonna flash away over the wall, try to Riftwalk once more. He does not have enough mana just yet to Riftwalk once more. Can he do it? He's waiting for his last mana to come back here. He Blue buff even once out doing that chase, and there we go, 50 gold for Varus picking up the golem from Nevermore.
And overall, that's a very good operation by ELG all over the map. Not only do they get the Drake, but also deny a lot of that bot side pressure. They did manage to find their way through towards the tier 1 mid tower as well, so that will open up a lot of space for them. Now you have to be careful not give out too much to the Aatrox.
But this turn of events actually turned around the whole game, because we do see now the advantage in gold, as you said, as well as double Drakes here, and it's going to be a Wind Drake, so not the biggest factor for like a soul, but definitely interesting to have on both sides here.
And also, you can, like very specifically, the gold went all in the right places for ELG. If you take a look at the kills and the scoreboards, you have the Ivern 1, 1, and 3 already sitting on an Athene. You also have the Azir, who's comfortably sitting on his Nature's Tooth. He does have the Haunted Guys, and also the Senna 2-0. She already has her first lethality item. Obviously, the Umbral Glaive doesn't cost that much gold, but also the boots. Executioner's Calling, And a nice little sapphire crystal.
Ah,
So, yeah, first component of the Edge of the Night coming through.
interestingly enough, I've been putting down a bush. Why you saw put that bush down in the existing bush already on the map is because it gives vision on the first second. So definitely a good tool to spot if somebody's in there. As you see once again, Jon Snow here giving his best impression of the other Jon. There we have Seth, however, joining the fight, making this an uneven 1v2, but Kled taking very, very low. Jon Snow looking to finish him off. Can he do so? He will not be able to do just yet. He will even get settled, flash away. Not sure if he can survive. He will not be able to survive the 2 damage from the ZW. Taken down there in the end, 5-2 kills. Very good stuff.
Good by ELG. The problem now is that they are losing out in the mid lane. The thing is that connecting snows, they don't quite manage to punish that rotation, especially because of the amount of vision all around. If you take a quick look, the vision that Sea Snow has set up is actually quite shallow around the lanes and not so deep into the jungle or river of ELG. So they are not able to see the rotations, and because of that, you do not want psychologically to commit too hard to a play if you do not know if you do not know where your opponents are on the map and how fast they are going to be rotating, because you have tools like the shadow pool from the Senna. You also have the Azir who dashes through walls. You do not know even if Seth is going to be looting a Predator and whatnot. And you also have, finally, the Kled ultimate to make sure that you really are doubting your position whenever you do not see anyone from the enemy team. So it's really taking a risk whenever you do not have the vision to walk up that far to try and hit some of these outer towers of ELG when you are on the side of Sea Snow.
Yeah. They do have, however, the set even running. I mean, he got the flash back right now, but he even has Hex Flash. So,
yeah,
going for the ultimate mobility here on this character. As we see the weapon being picked up here by Kugas, he's gonna comfortably sit on that Blade of Ruined King, as well as the Senna actually completing her Umbral, what's it called? Not Umbral Glaive, but... Yeah. Oh, it is called Umbral Glaive, yeah, I was correct. Some time, but yeah, Umbral Glaive here, some boots of swiftness, some healing, denying.
Localization 101.
Yeah.
So right now you do see state of the map is pretty stale right now, as both teams are just waiting out for the next objective to come up. This Cloud Drake now is gonna be the next thing on the line for both of these teams coming on. It's coming up in only 2 seconds now, and you can already see ELG investing in the river and trying to get the vision control over it. But you have to be careful though, because you're doing so against a Zac, a Kassadin, and now a TPing Aatrox in the river.
Yeah, but they will be looking to go aggressive here. We do see them going aggressive here. The teamfight has broken out completely. Everybody's dropping in HP, but Jon Snow taking very, very low. He's going to be the first target, but the first mode to fall will be the Varus. He's going to be joined by top laner very, very shortly, as well as his support. So Senna coming in here for the double kill, as well as them now going over to this Drake and securing Drake number 3 in the inventory.
And this to me looks like a really good play by ELG, but also a very interesting moment by CE Snow. It really does look like the whole team wasn't on the same page on this one, where Zac and Kassadin were not positioned correctly to follow up on the Aatrox, and then the bot lane committed way too early compared to the moment that Aatrox went in. And also, like, it's really mesmerizing to me that Zac did not even try to go in that fight where, you know,
oh, he does get it! What a steal by boosting for free. Zac will go into passive and was likely taken down. I don't think the Kassadin TP will be coming too, making Malik unstoppable with that kill picked up here. 5 kills to him, but what a steal. CE Snow realizing, okay boys, we have a dire situation, we just lost the team fight, we lost the Drake, and they're gonna try to punish us with this Baron. Let's send in our man Zac, he's gonna get the job done, and he does indeed. What a play here, picking up that Baron buff just to deny, and even gonna get a tier 1 out of this, yeah?
Yeah, trying to really make up for that situation they put themselves in. And right now, this Baron buff is going to be so good for for CE Snow, because remember, right, they do have a lot of scaling on their side, but they just need the time to reach it. And the thing is that the power spikes of the Senna, of the Azir, are going to be coming online a lot more early than the rest of the power spikes of the CE Snow comp. Especially when you're behind, Varus takes so much more time to scale when you do not have a proper access to resources. Now, Ivern might find himself in a bit of a dire spot. Will just walk away happily, like the tree he is.
Yeah. But Aatrox here, I don't know if you want to take this trade. Jon Snow is getting dangerously low, and oof, that was a very close one indeed. But victorious nonetheless will be ELG's marks here, making sure he does pick up the the third kill in a row here. Nevermore now in a bit of a pickle. He does not have flash available, so he will most likely go down. Kassadin will pick that one up for himself, as well as Set now in the middle of everyone, but he does miss. Actually gets to be punished here, as well as the Varus going down. Ian Zack just coming in.
God.
What a bloodfest.
Holy moly, they took so much time to kill Emo in that fight. The set gave the set just bought a lot of time so that German could join in with the Kled, so that Mask was actually free for the whole fight, dishing out his insane damages with the Aatrox. He already has the Leandri's Torment completed, as well as the boot and a nice needlessly large rod. So this guy already sitting on a huge amount of damage, and right now I do believe that he's gonna just reset and buy another one of these large rods, get himself in a nice team fight position where he has the Rabadon's death cap sooner or later, and then he's gonna be perfectly fine team fighting, especially once the Ivern Ardent Center will be coming through.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. But right now it does seem very, very dire. Like, this is a 2k gold league at 25 minutes. Looking at the exact gold distribution, as you said, the Azir looking to be completing that death cap really, real soon. And also the Senna just, I mean, both your carries are fed. What more do you want in a game like this? And they are also like the ones that are looking to scale. So them reaching those power spikes earlier just makes this game so much more dangerous for CE Snow to come back here. But they do have one time bomb ticking, which is the on-hit Varus here, together with the Kassadin. And yes, they are kind of behind when it comes to kills, but if you have an exact look at the gold, it does still have the favor here. Sorry, it is still in favor of Varus here over the Senna, but that's just because it's feasting Senna. And in the mid lane, we do have a gold deficit for the Kassadin, so he is definitely behind the Azir.
Absolutely, and yeah, you were talking about that gold gap. 2,000 doesn't sound like much, but when all of these golds are actually sitting on the main carries, which are late game hyper carries, is just so much more frightening when you phrase it that way. Especially given that on the side of CE Snow, you know, you have the Aatrox, whose role in the late game team fights is just to be like a meat bag to tank through the damage, while hopefully Kassadin and Varus try to deal with the backline. And so when your whole team is behind, you do not have that role available to you. And now there's going to be a fight, TP in the river.
Yeah, aggressive fight here, all out on fight, 5-on-5. They're going at it, and the first victim will be the Karma here. But we look at boosting, he's going to go down as well. Jon Snow, the next victim. And with Varus falling, last man standing is Siri here on that Kassadin. But this will most likely be the end of the game. Game number 1, of course, is the best of 3, so don't go anywhere, boys. It's not over just yet. We do have 2 more games eventually coming, at least 1 for sure. They are pushing right now. They're gonna get the inhibitor tower as well as the inhibitor itself. And now it's a 1v5. Can he make a last stand? Is he able to do anything here? The first tower is falling so fast. And I don't think there's anything to save. Even the flash here coming through. They know it's over. And that's game number 1 in favor of ELG Sports. GG's.
The amount of coordination on the side of ELG is so far superior to that of CE Snow in this first game. I'm not judging CE Snow right out of the bat. I'm just saying that in this game, what costed them the entire game was their inability of committing at the same time on the plays, was their inability of properly orchestrating team fights and responding to the enemy rotations. So many times have we seen ELG make repeated dives on the enemy bot lane. Have we seen ELG make some unpunished rotations where Sea Snow wouldn't get anything on the other side of the map. And because of that, because of these kind of small plays here and there where they just get something without giving anything in return, ELG just outright wins the game because they have they have so much more resources than their opponents.
Yeah, and here we can see this is the Antenna obviously popping off in damage. And yes, like you mentioned, we did have the gold going directly into those carries, and those carries did indeed punish the enemy team really, really hard. I think the Azir damage especially was so hard to deal with in this full-on 5-on-5 teamfight that we saw happen 3 times in a row, actually. So yeah, it was not even about objectives anymore, but just about surviving. And ELG did tell the enemy, hey, look, you guys looking to survive until a certain minute? We will not let that happen. They pulled the string and immediately collapsed onto the enemy and destroy them. And therefore, we have this game number 1 going in favor of ELG Sports. They will be swapping sides now. So blue side for Sea Snow coming through in just a second. So until then, we will be heading off in a 1-minute break and be right back with you for game number 2 of this best of 3 between ELG Sports winning game number 1 versus Sea Snow.
I try to live in the moment, and a new day will come. And if the sun stops shining just right into the storm, into the storm, into the storm, into the storm, into the storm. This is how it all begins. First the clouds roll in, gray fills the sky, lightning strikes, rain hits the skin. But a new day will come, so I face the pain. And deep in my bones I can feel the rain coming. I try to live in the moment, cause a new day will come. And if the sun stops shining just right into the storm, into the storm, into the storm, into the storm, into the storm.
Okay, welcome back everybody. Live here on Connecting Esports, we have the TG Diamond League, and none other than, for all of you guys tuning in, said this before, I will repeat it, it's none other than the most famous man here on Connecting Esports, Sherlock, my man casting with me today.
Hey, hey.
And we do have a ELG Sports versus Sea Snow coming through here, and as you can see by this beautiful text at the top of your screen, ELG Sports has won game number 1 versus Sea Snow. It's a best of 3, so they have to win one more. So either 2-0 or 2-1 for anyone will be meaning they won the series.
And they have done so in a very convincing fashion, by the way.
Yeah, that was actually clean execution.
Like, I mean, Sea Snow, they got the Varus, they had the Aatrox as well, so 2 of the picks that they feel very confident piloting. These are comfort picks for both of these players. You have also a playstyle where C Snow was really aiming for the team fights with the Zac, with the Kassadin. And it was not even like C Snow was at a clear disadvantage just from the drafting styles. And yet, when it came to the teamfight execution, when it came to the rotations all around the map, ELG just clearly showed that they are the strongest team in this series.
Yeah, the strongest team is indeed, you could say. But yeah, they have been very strong performers and competitors in our tournaments.
Yeah.
Over and over again. And as we are waiting for C Snow to ready up with the top laner Jon Snow here, we will be going into game number 2. I get the draft ready for them already. And yeah, looking back at this draft, actually, I was surprised by the set coming out here by ELG, but in the end it made perfect sense. They were just looking for a comfortable bot lane, and Setsuna is definitely a comfortable bot lane. Yes, you're not looking to win anything, but that also means there's no pressure on you. All you need to do is survive, and that is pretty damn easy in a 2v2 lane if the enemy team does pick the Karma and Varus.
Especially when it's on-hit Varus, by the way.
Yeah,
like,
on-hit Varus.
Not gonna lie. It eased a lot of things off of the shoulders of the sets to have a Varus come back to your lane with a recurve bow instead of a serrated dirk. So
true, because we saw him nearly one-shot one of the guys, but then it was just quite not enough. And yeah, I think the serrated dirk would have made the difference there.
For
Luckily,
sure.
No
There.
Bug Varus coming to it just yet. Looking at few issues here. 1 second. There we go. Okay, game has been come through. We will be hopping into the lobby real quick here, and then we'll give you guys the next draft for game number 2 between ELG Sports and C Snow here.
And so now the main question on the lips of the players of
Can you
C's
your
no.
microphone, Sherlock? I don't know if it's my side, but I think you have a little bit of a slight buzz sound. Very soft, but I can hear it, so I assume people can hear it as well.
Is it all good now?
Yes, perfect.
Nice. So yeah, now that you're on the side of C Snow, you find yourself on the losing end of that series for now. It's time for adaptation, and the thing is that, as I've said before, you are at a disadvantage. You were not at a disadvantage in the previous drafts. So, did you lose that game because you weren't feeling comfortable playing on stage, because you weren't maybe confident enough going into the series or whatnot? If the problem is not about the champions you play or the draft you have, then is it about the mental? And if it is, can you actually correct it in the span of 5 minutes between 2 games? And the main thing is going to be either you have to change your draft completely, do an overhaul of the playstyle you want to go in, you want to adopt against ELG, or just stick to the same draft where you feel comfortable, that you feel comfortable playing, but then go into the game being a bit more hungry, being a bit more aggressive in the lanes, being a bit more offensive with the jungler, with the jungler maybe trying to set up a lot more of these lane ganks, for example. We haven't seen Zac ganking a lot in the early game, aside maybe from like that one time where he got the Herald, went up, tried to shove up as much as possible. You can be a lot more proactive with that kind of jungle, especially into an Ivern, for example. So you have to be a lot more confident in your own abilities if you want to be able to actually win that series.
Yeah, and they do show some kind of adaptations already. See Snowy going for this Ivern first ban, and ELG just sticking to their guns. Orianna off the board, as well as Ezreal now from Snow coming too. So this is definitely adaptation in only one pick so far. So maybe Seasnow has pointed out, as you said, it's just a mental issue and not, or like an approach to the game issue and not a composition issue. So we will see if Seasnow will pick up the slack and make this a tight series, or drop yet another game and ELG will have the clean 2-0 victory.
And now that also means that ELG is finding themselves in a very comfortable spot, because on that red side they do have a counter pick this time around, so it's even more. It's one more lane where they do have like a free given priority, and maybe they could use it to, for example, try to counter that Aatrox, because we've seen them lock in the Kled in the first hand that on paper looked like it would be a good response to the Aatrox, but actually didn't work out at all and got bullied super high in that top lane. So maybe you want to keep that counter pick to the top, or think that if you are leaving Aatrox open, he will default to it, and so you can feel comfortable picking something right off the bat to go against that Aatrox.
Yeah. And I'm just rewatching that Baron steal from previous game. That was such a beautiful play. Damn.
A shame that it wasn't enough, actually, because that was a real good play coming through from the Zac.
Let me just make a highlight out of this.
Now, once again, ELG taking their time thinking up that draft, making sure that everything is perfectly set up for them.
Yeah, and I'm actually curious here. So the center of the board, the Ivan of the board, Seasnow definitely looking to force ELG spots into something else.
Ooh.
But
Now with a Varus ban in the response.
I'm not sure if they actually want to push ELG into something else, because ELG looked so comfortable in this slow style composition, and then still managed to put on the heat and actually win. And yeah, I would love for Seasnow to pick a mid laner that is able to fight in the mid lane and not just sit back and wait. I think that is where it is at, not in the top or in the bot lane. Those lanes fall off pretty hard if they get camped by junglers, but mid laners are so often left alone, especially in these tournaments.
Poor sad junglers.
Yeah. We do have...
Oh. Okay, so Seasnow decided to be a bit bold in that draft, locking in the Karma straight away. And especially considering that Varus is banned, so you do not have the option of like running her support with the Varus for the mega poke type of comp. So I would more expect that Karma to be a flex, which would be mid lane oriented, I feel like.
Yep.
Especially considering that Seasnow likes to play a bit of an AD-centric meta, which would really fit a lot against ELG Sports if you do have the better players, or if you are overconfident.
So I think you did mention the Kog'Maw in the previous draft, and ELG Sports here locking in that Lulu. This could be a protected carry composition. I mean, it's very, very early in the draft, so this could be basically everything, even the fucking Lulu top lane, so like everything is possible. But I think this Lulu being locked in does show us that they're looking to pick yet another AD carry that is confident in their abilities, because if you play Feasting Center, you have to be confident in the abilities of surviving, and right now they may be looking to put somebody else in that carry spot than just the Azir. So they will give some more credit to Malak here on this ADC composition. They're waiting until the last second here. There we go. The Azir once again locked in. Very, very good performance in the first game, so why not do it again?
Yeah, that man ended the game on like, what, 8-0-5 or something?
Yeah.
Perfect KDA for both carries of ELG. So you really do get a nice boost of confidence, especially considering that you've been playing in a matchup that is not so favorable to you in the likes of Kassadin. So ending up on the winning end of that matchup gives you even more confidence to just lock in the pick blind, like what ELG Sports just did. So obviously you would default to it and try to hide the rest of your cards for later. With that Lulu being locked in, you have the option of running the Kog'Maw, of running stuff like the Vayne, for example, which is a very good solo queue destroyer, the combo Vayne Lulu, but also very proficient in amateur play. Now Ashe coming in from CE Snow, obviously Varus being banned away, so defaulting once again to the second utility AD carry that CE Snow likes to handle, and now Veigar, who was banned in the second rotation of the first game, comes in now B3 position and makes sure that CE Snow has the late game insurance this time around.
Yeah, and thank you for the follow as well. But I'm actually interested in this Veigar and Ashe. Like, this calls for a lot of CC, so a lot of like crowd control coming through here. The Veigar cage being very, very big and very narrow actually on the end there. But the Ashe ult, definitely a squishy champion, like one of the most squishy champions existing in the AD carry role. And she does have this one very good ability, which will be the lane dominance by, of course, her slow the inbuilt crit, as well as, of course, that long range cross map stun. The longer it travels, the longer it's done. So Ashe ulti definitely not to be underestimated. But it feels like CSNO is just drafting into ELG right now. Like, ELG is perfectly predicting this. The Lulu will save anybody that's going to get Ashe knocked up. The Ornn will give you some teamfight capabilities as well as a way of blocking the stuns. So, yeah.
Yeah. So Ornn has a clear weakness where he is typically doing bad into teams that want to fight on their own, in their own space. Where, you know, with the Ornn, you like to engage hard onto the enemy team. You like to make teams uncomfortable sitting in one spot, for example, in a corridor, in a lane, and you want to make the team fights move your way. You want to make teams rush into you, or have your team rush into the enemy team. And so the best counter to the Ornn are stuff like the Kindred, for example, who are very comfortable with standing their ground. And Veigar, to some extent, also has that identity with the Event Horizon, where, you know, he places it and it kind of denies the enemy team from advancing, because else you're most likely going to get one-shotted by the unleash power. No, not the unleash power. The Veigar ultimate. And Ashe as well has a lot of space control where she can apply a multiple man slow. So I do like that team of CE Snow, but only because ELG actually drafted the Ornn into all of these picks. And the thing is that right now they are banning away the Mordekaiser, they are banning away the Kayle, and once again leaving the Aatrox open for CE Snow to pick. So they most likely expect the Aatrox to go into the Ornn.
Ultimate is called, by the way, Primordial Burst.
Thank you.
No worries. Event Horizon is the stun, and Dark Matter the W, as well as Baleful Strike the Q. And Phenomenal Evil Power is his passive, where he stacks an ability power based off his Q, taking down minions or champions.
Are you reading the wiki?
No, I am just a beautiful good caster.
Oh, wow. So much professionalism coming through here.
Totally. I'm totally not sitting at a PC with internet access.
I mean that would be lying to our audience. We are not like that, right?
Yeah,
are we?
I'm just sitting at my PC, not touching it. OBS is taking care of everything, and I'm just telepathic. Yes, controlling all the things you see on the screen. But the Twitch logged in, damn, that's interesting. So they do decide to go even more teamfight. And with the Lulu, this does make sense in my opinion. Also leaving up only counter pick available still, which will be the jungle here, because the top lane they locked in already, the mid lane they have already picked as well. So the only top lane, the only counter pick would have been for the jungle, because the enemy already locked in an ADC, so you can pick your ADC safely. And now they have Snow on their back, waiting what they will pick, and then they can counter it with an aggressive or a jungler that will have more impact. We see Nautilus. How about?
How about that would be a Nautilus top lane, I guess. Try and counter the Ornn. And there it is, locked in now. So this shakes up the draft by a lot. They still have the possibility of running the Karma tank top and having the Nautilus as a support to try and go hard into the Lulu and Twitch with the Ashe that has the slow. And also a very good snowball, by the way, since she's going for the BRK first item. So this could be a flex pick. Keep that one in mind.
Yeah, this could indeed be a flex pick. I mean, Vega jungle is definitely not something. Yes, Vega. Twitch jungle is definitely something we have not already seen. But yeah, we do emphasize it every time, because there's some famous names out there that do play Twitch jungle, or at least did play Twitch jungle, especially when it comes to the streaming platform Twitch.
I'm not sure if that was even classified as a pun.
It was, trust me. I'm the master of puns. But yeah, a Nautilus Jarvan here getting the lock-in. Beautiful combination of that one, because the knock-up can be CC, followed up by more CC. CC is now going for the full-on out composition of, hey, we can just make you not be able to play the game and therefore win. But yeah, let's hope they don't fall back and can capitalize on that. We do have ELG Sports now with the last pick available, most likely the jungler. Let's see what they have in mind to counter this Jarvan. I mean, a Trundle, what else is there? Olaf, but Olaf is a bit... I mean, Olaf would be good into this, but Catechism will still trap him.
Yeah.
So maybe mobility, you can even go for late game, but you have the Azir already in the on, so you don't need like a Graves, for example. Yeah, thinking of more jungle picks. Zac is also still open, so a bit more front
Echo
line.
would be a really great pick in this situation, I believe.
Yeah, but high capability of getting one shot. And the Kindred does make sense here if you're playing Protect the carry, but now you have 3 carries, only 1 Lulu. So let's see how this one plays out. But definitely, Kindred Ultimate reminds me of the very famous Kindred Taric bot lane we have seen so many times, even in the playoffs last time around. It was a great time.
Yeah, EQNAN and former EQNAN, now Medieval Esports, are a big fan of this Kindred Taric combo.
Yeah.
And also, like, you're saying Project the carry, this doesn't really fit, but in my mind it does actually, because you have the Primordial Burst, like that one ultimate that is so pivotal to the whole lineup of CSNO, where you really want to one-shot someone on the from the face of the earth with that specific ability. But the thing is that how are you going to do it if they are all invincible inside of the Lamb's Respite? And now what I'm mostly worried of on the side of CSNO is that you have Karma, Ashe, Veigar, Nautilus, Jarvan. Sure, you have a lot of CC, you have all of the CC in the world, a lot of space control, a lot of slows to set up your CC and whatnot. Now, the thing that you are lacking the most is damage. If you take a look at the enemy composition, you have the Lulu with all of the shielding, the wild growth. You have the Ornn that is going to be one very tanky boy. You also have the Kindred's Lamb's Respite to try and absorb a lot of these damage and buy a lot of temporization. But aside from that, you really do need to get these damages out. And the Karma, she doesn't have that much damage if she goes for a very supportive type of build. Nautilus, sure, he does have a lot of base damage, but they do not scale very nicely into the mid-game compared to that of an Ornn, for example. And Jarvan is in the very same spot where either he goes Warrior and then gets one-shotted by the enemy team, which is especially bad considering you have a Lamb's Respite, so you're probably not even going to be able to one-shot someone. And you can do this, or go for the Juggernaut augment, where you do not do any sort of relevant damage in the later stages of the game. So that composition of CE Snow, they need to find something in the game. They do have their time to play. When in the early game, the base damages of the Jarvan and the Nautilus are more than enough to kill someone like a Twitch or a Lulu in the early game, or even a Kindred if she were to counter gank. You have tons of damage in the bot lane, in that bot lane in the early game. You also have a very nice gank setup with the Ashe and the Nautilus. But if you do not manage to capitalize on that setup, you're gonna have a lot of trouble. Especially more if they decide to run the Karma in the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean,
Karma has been locked in by Jon Snow for now, so I do guess that she's gonna go top though.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna just quickly have a look at the screenshot they posted from the previous game. 1 second here, because we did have Cougars here playing AD carry, so this might be just a switch up of positioning.
Yeah, they could still swap around. But yeah, so eventually that Jarvan has to play with the Nautilus in the early game, else you're not likely to be able to find something that will carry you through the mid to late game, and you absolutely need 100% need a lead coming into the mid game, because else that composition with Kindred, Azir, Twitch, and Lulu, just all of these carries alone are going to be so unbearable for you to withstand. And when you add the Ornn on top of that all, it's just going to be doing so much damage compared to a Nash Arrow, for example, or a Jarvan Cataclysm. The Call of the Forge God, once you hear that sound, you just have to run for your life, because you do not have the amount of peel necessary, you do not have the amount of damage necessary to answer such an ability.
Yeah. Are we going here into the spectator delay, because that will mean, of course, as always, boys, our beautiful betting system opening. If you have a look at chat right now, you do see that the exclamation mark points will give you your points exactly and bet wet all. Once again, here going for the red side. This time Sherlock will hopefully not be mistaken in his predictions. But yeah. You can also do exclamation mark my bet for the future. Oh, we joining you. Okay, then just for good measures, I'll bet against you, give you guys a chance to catch up. So let me do bet. Blue. All. Also, the maximum amount is 10k. Is you wondering why your bet didn't go through?
And I really do love, by the way, the decision that ELG took in that draft, which is that they realized in the game 1 that a clear weakness of CE Snow was their coordination in team fights. Even though they did have a pretty front-to-back type of composition with a clear-cut front line, clear-cut engage. Everyone had their role assigned from their champion, with Zac, you're the engage, Aatrox, you're the follow-up, yada yada. And despite all of that, they were still unable to put to like coordinate in fights, find some decent engages, and orchestrate punishment rotations. And so ELG, they see this, and they do realize that since this is the biggest weakness of that CE Snow lineup, we're gonna play fully into it. We're gonna go for straight up for the Ornn, Lulu. We get team fighting tools. We get hyper carries. We get a very big fat front line with a whole lot of engage, and we just run straight at them once we group up.
Yeah. I'm most curious about this middle matchup, not gonna lie. Like the Vega into the Azir is the thing I am looking forward to. I mean, the Karma top lane is exceptional as well, I would say, but still not the worst thing.
Yeah, she's most probably going to be doing fine into that Ornn, you know. It will never be in threat of dying. She does have the regeneration on the link, as well as enough movement speed to try and run away to safety if he were to commit onto her. Things start to spice up a bit once the Ornn gets the call of the Forge God, because then he can try to 100 to 0 the Karma with the help of the Kindred. So she will have to pay some attention to it later on in the game. But for now, in the early laning phase, she's going to be quite comfortable. Same goes for the Ashe and Nautilus, by the way.
Yeah. Going here into the game. So let's have a look at... Excuse me. There we go. Let's have a look at the wounds, actually. So we have here in the top lane on running that Spellbook. Very interesting. Wait. Actually, already loaded into the game. These loading screens are getting so fast. Damn. I mean, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I know, right?
But this will give us a chance to fix the lineup here. Let me just get...
Oh yeah, into a ranged matchup, you know that you're never going to be able to actually proc that Grasp of the Undying. Aftershock is not going to really going to do much in the laning phase, nor is Conqueror, so you just go for the Unsealed Spellbook. Gives you so much more value, so much more impact on that game. If you are able to help your team with an additional Exhaust, an Ignite maybe to try and prevent some healing, even though there's none built into the kits of the enemy champions. Or simply put, just an additional smite to get some objective pressure around the map.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, we do have a 5-man stack here. Luckily for us, it is only a 5-man stack on one side, because we might be seeing some action here. Actually, they're looking like they're going forward. Ooh, Jarvan is in a bit of a pickle. He does spot them immediately. Unfortunate timing there for ELG Sports. They could have gotten a free kill if they waited a tiny bit longer.
Yeah, they were expecting the invade from the Nautilus, so... Just camping here as a counter-invade. Unsuccessful to find anything, but still good thought by the ELG players to think of that Nautilus possibility.
Yeah. We do see Jarvan starting on the red buff, of course, as well as Kindred here. And we haven't talked too much about this jungle matchup, because Jarvan into Kindred is very skill-reliant. Because Kindred, if played correctly, can kite the Jarvan and dodge even the CC, so the only form of secure damage. And Jarvan, on the other hand, has this capability of outputting a lot of damage in one
in one go with the flag and drag.
Exactly, flag and drag, passive proc.
Invade immediately, actually.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was pointing out here. The red buff versus blue buff, so Nevermore will lose this trade, as well as Conquer proccing right now. He does drop very low. He's going to kite backwards to get a shield. He's still going to be alive. Oh no! So close. Nevermore stays alive with a Slave of Help and even heals thanks to the Triumph in his inventory, in his wounds. But that was boosting for free, looking for some early aggression.
And now I have to check something. No. Oh, hold on, the bot lane.
And bot lane is just not done yet, so they did explore.
Exploit that level 2 transition,
exploit. Yeah, what is wrong with me? Exploit this level 2, as well as the exhaust being down on the Lulu here. And now we have a little bit of a lane advantage in favor of Sea Snow, so this will feel good for them after losing their jungler and pretty much having the map pressure lost. Pick up some lane pressure.
And speaking of pressure, let's talk a bit about that position out from the Kindred. So unfortunately, she didn't decide to mark the Jarvan straight out of the map, something that usually Kindred tends to do, marking the enemy jungler in case they meet in the river or counter jungling. So that could have been a lot worse than it is right now, which is already a bad situation for that Jarvan. Considering that, you know, Kindred, once you give her the tempo, she's gonna... Oh,
Well, speaking of
hold on,
Kindred,
hold
she
the
has
stunt.
no flash. Never mind now. This time on so low, he will drop for sure, and it's a 2v2. But ELG Max is here looking to redeem his jungler. He's not going to be able. Oh, actually, he is going to be able to do so. As Malik is also going to die in the bot lane to Ash here, and now ELG Max is going to stay alive for just a second because double flash coming out here, and that was a beautiful stack here going over to the Vega. So Jarvan picking up a kill, Vega picking up a kill, Jarvan dying for the second time, but good. News for them. There's going to be a kill on the bot lane as well as now Lulu being bullied here, but most likely not chased on the turret because they're all just level 3 and tower does a lot of damage in these early game stages.
And now the bot lane has the pressure on the side of Sea Snow. They are going to be walking into the river to try and contest that mark on the Rift Sculptor. And that's going to be a very important one.
Yeah, Nevermore here does not manage to get the mark just yet. This might preemptively just to stay alive, and they're gonna kill boosting for free once again. 3 deaths in 4 minutes. My man is feeding, as well as ELG Max versus Vega. Very, very low. Minions will finish the job. Vega is
That's so sad.
a bad boy, just not even looking while taking down his opponent.
So a lot happened all over the map in this very last 10 seconds. The thing is that it was a very good play by Nevermore to, instead of straight running away from the Jarvan, stepping back into the fight to have the range for smiting the Rift Sculptor. That's what saved her life in the first place. And then because Manic and Emo were back onto that lane, hold on, because Jarvan is now ganking again, and Twitch will just escape that like the sneaky rat he is.
Fancy feet here, and Hail of Blades being used there to even bully Jarvan a bit, and he's not going to feel too happy about all of these events going down. We do see have a gank potential here in the top lane. We have the Ashe marked by the Kindred, but she's ganking the Karma instead. He's going to proc. Oof! Jon Snow.
Barely enough damage.
If anybody breathes on you, you will fall over, but he is alive for now.
Just not enough damage by Nevermore. That's the choice of going for the dagger instead of the long sword in her inventory. But anyway, that's a really good attempt on that top side of the map. And right now it does mean that showing herself on the top side, Jarvan is finally able to get that early Drake in his pocket. So that's a really good operation by Sea Snow. Not only do they actually waste a bit of time from the Kindred, but also do they manage to get Jarvan a teeny tiny bit back into the game. Because once he loses tempo over to the Kindred, she should be able to snowball it out of control and suffocate the enemy team from ever finding any opportunities.
Yeah.
But since this is amateur and the jungle pathings are not perfect and whatnot, hopefully Sea Snow still has hope in this game.
Most interestingly enough, though, we do have this Karma top lane here is building so very weirdly. She's gonna go for the full scaling build, and she's gonna get to this point where she cannot punish Dion anymore because we saw her having control of this lane so far. You can see it as well in the CS numbers, but I feel she's kind of slowly losing this as soon as On will hit this Cataclysm.
Yeah, right now the Living Forge will be able to give him a much easier time in this lane.
Yeah.
There you go, Catalyst of Aeons completed on the side of that Ornn. Right now he's gonna get a lot more sustain than what he had with the biscuits and the refillable potion.
Do not forget, this is a flash top lane On. Like, he does have the spellbook, so of course that will change. Yeah. He's very, very safe as we see. Gank attempt here in the bot lane. Nautilus pretty much trying to give up his life by autoing everybody and staying alive. Ooh, Ash even walking back into range, but this is the TP coming through by Vega with the ultimate here, the Primordial Burst, going to hunt that Kindred. She did have ultimate available, but she did not press it, as well as now the Jarvan getting the kill onto the Twitch here, and Lulu running for her life, calling for Pixie, but Pixie says just keep running.
Great reply by Sea Snow in this play. And also, there's been so much that was missed on the side of ELG. Actually, They switched focus between the Nautilus and the Ashe. They didn't proc the Kindred spells accordingly. They were unsure about who they were committing onto. And because of that, it just opened up the opportunity for C Snow to respond to that play with the teleport of the Vigar. And all of that, it just comes from that little fight earlier on where Azir has to blow his teleport to get back into the lane, which makes it so that he's unable to actually respawn. Now Courage the Forgelord comes in, and that's going to be a very dead Karma. That's what we were mentioning earlier, right? That Karma is going to be super safe in that top lane until that Ornn gets his level 6. Then you have to track the enemy jungler, because once that Kindred comes up to the top side of the map, you have to pay her respect.
Yep, and this Kindred indeed is now getting to the stage where if she picks up 1 or 2 more kills, she's going to be at, well, 1 or 2 more marks with the kills. Going to be at a very good stage here. But of course she's just looking to scale further. Boosting for free, finally making something happen besides dying 3 times. He did have some successful ganks right now. And I think the biggest party is going to be this Veigar. Just 3-0. Very scary looking Veigar. As boosting for free is going to get collapsed on. Gonna try to go aggressive onto Nevermore. This is the invulnerability coming through here. And don't forget, Veigar has ultimate available. He's gonna use it to take down Kindred once again. So definitely a new CE Snow here. 7-4 in kills as they chase the Azir, who's gonna make a beautiful play. He's gonna take down 1 in the 1v2. Now looking to take down the second as well, as Ornn is here. He's gonna use even the heal to get in range. And Tippy Toes on Veigar, does not matter. Shut down coming through.
Yeah, now cashing in a lot of gold into that Ornn. Not really gonna be pivotal for the health of the ELG roster, but sure is a nice thing for that to finally shut down that Veigar in the mid lane. He will be the Azir will be able to shove that lane under the tower, try to deny him some gold, and get a free reset off the back of that fight.
Yeah.
Which does mean that for the upcoming Drake, ELG might be able to try and contest it, since Azir also has his teleport available. Oh, but you have to avoid taking too much damage on the side of the Kindred though, because else you're just gonna be giving away the Drake for free. CSNO is already done with it though, so there will be no contest available. And once again we're hold on.
Yeah. Good attempt here to go onto somebody on the bottom lane. It will be the Lulu, the sacrificial lamb. But oh no, Twitch has stepped back into the cage here. Gets taken down as well. Kills go over to the Nautilus and 1 more to the Ashe, I believe. So that is not the worst outcome of this bot lane gank here. I'm not quite sure why Malik tried to step back in. I do understand that he wanted to try to save your support, but if he is sacrificing himself for you, he should just keep running.
And so right now, after all of this fight, seeing the Veigar being 5-1 and 2, both bot laners of Sea Snow are sitting on 1-0 and 4 KDAs, and now the Rift Herald is the next objective of that on the map.
Oh, very good dodge! Insane play here by boosting for free. He's dodging the Azir ultimate by just using his ultimate, the Cataclysm, to jump over the wall instantly as it is being procced. So good interaction there. Smart play by this man.
Yeah, really having a much better performance on the Jarvan than he did on the Zac.
Calling on the Forge God is gonna hit the Karma, even predicting the flash here. Or Jon Snow just flashed badly. And this time for sure he's gonna go down. Or will he actually? Jokes on you, Karma has yet another shield to stay alive.
Yeah, even if she's not going for the... Oh, bit of an oopsie here in the bottom lane.
I guess Lulu got scared by that ward. That would be true.
I mean, she wasn't expecting it to be there, right?
True.
So definitely some mistake here and there, but yeah, overall, as you were saying, even if she's not going for the tanky build on that Karma, she does have a lot of survivability anyway, because of the AP scaling on her shield, because of the regeneration on the W that kind of saved her life here. And overall, if she's not too far forward on that lane, just Call of the Forge God will not be enough. That Kindred is going to be lacking a lot of these damages in the early game. So if the Ornn is not able to apply his full combo onto that Karma, Kindred will have a hard time to do all the job by herself.
Yeah, and with plating going down very, very soon, we can have a look at it real quick. One plating losing on every lane for CE Snow. So CE Snow losing one in the top lane, one in the bottom lane, and actually two in the mid lane. And then on the other hand, they have been gaining two in the top lane, one in the mid lane, and I believe two in the bottom lane as well. So they have a slight plating advantage, as well as kill advantage. Therefore, this 2k gold lead is to be expected.
And the Veigar, though, he does have the Electrocute on. And yet he's going for the GLP Hextech first item, and now he's building the a needlessly large rod. So he does have a lot of options for in terms of itemization now. He can go for the Spellbinder instead of the Rabadon with that large rod, which would be a very smart item choice.
And we do see this bot lane over and over again, just trying to have a go at each other. But right now, Ashe is winning these trades.
Yeah, she does have the BRK completed, whereas it's only oh, hold on.
Ooh, good flash there. Malik realizing if that knockup will reach him, he's going to be stuck in place, and that will be the death of him because the anchor will pull him back. Malik has to be very careful. He's so low on HP here.
And look how beautifully Bullzaft is playing with the aggro range of the tower. Sitting on the far end of that tower to get some free poke onto Emo, forcing him to back off, risking making them take risks staying under that tower. And you can also see Jarvan and Veigar sitting in that river, and now as they are taking that tier 1 bottom tower, it means that there will be complete pressure in the favor of CE Snow, as the next Drake is about to spawn in 30 seconds. Jarvan falling super low.
Boosting for free here, definitely just looking to make some trouble, because he knows he's going to have the advantage when it comes to this Drake spawning. But now actually with this HP being so low, oh, he's dropping the Herald. This might be the distraction they need to pick up this Drake.
Yeah.
Azir is also still not out of the question. He does have his Nashor's Tooth completed, so definitely looking forward to this one, as well as the TP coming to here from both top laners. So this will be a full 5-on-5 fight, and that's the Call of the Forge God actually hitting no one, but a very good attempt there. And now he's trying to get out of there. Unstoppable he goes, trying to get out of the beautiful Vega cage, just making any entry from ELG impossible, as they do dive onto Azir on the top left side there. But he manages to back off.
That's a beautiful back and forth ballet played by ELG right there. They are slowly kiting away at the health bars of CE Snow.
Yeah, CE Snow actually is lower in health bars, but that is, oh my god, the Vega Power was coming to killing the first one. The Jarvan now going aggressive, getting the second kill, but they are looking for the double kill so far. One going gold, and it will be the Nautilus just to stay alive, as we have the Drake being slain there in the end. And only member standing will be the Azir. So 4-for-0 plus a Drake. That, my man, is how you win games.
Absolutely, that primordial burst taking down someone from the get-go, while the Lens Respite was available, is definitely the turnaround in that fight. Also with the Ornn getting dealt so much damage from getting tagged by 1cc. We were talking about how this composition would be liking damage if they don't get a lead in the early game. Well, Veigar being 8-1 and 3 sure helps to win these skirmishes in the river. Ashe already sitting on the BRK, while Twitch only just got it fresh from the store. All of that is making this composition now so much scary, especially considering the snowball potential of that Veigar, of that Ashe. And if you take a quick look at those goals, every single player, aside from the Karma on the side of CE Snow, is standing on 2,000 gold. So look at that. The Ruins Hurricane one-shot by the Ashe now. Yeah. And Veigar has left to complete his reset.
Oh my god, this is very low HP burst here, as Nevermore is trying to go in for the redemption here, as we do have a kill traded here, AD carry for jungler. And I will take that trade every time if I was on CE Snow. Every time that's...
Oof.
Ooh, from downtown the arrow, is he gonna hit someone? No, it's gonna go in between very two low HP, squishy, small Kindred and Lulu players here, and just trying to get into the game here. And 1 and 4, 1 and 5, these two guys, like, they're supposed to do the damage, but if you're this far behind, especially in XP, like level 9 to level 10 in the jungle, level 9 to level 10 in the bottom lane here, I don't think this will have a great turn of events here when it comes for ELG Sports, at least not in the following minutes.
Absolutely, especially consider that I was about to say I've been seeing something from that Jarvan that I haven't seen in a very long time. The bruiser build on the Jarvan, because most of the time when Jarvan likes to go for the AD build, they go for the full AD glass cannon with the lethality build. Right there, that Jarvan has already completed his Titanic Hydra, and so after that I would expect something like either Black Cleaver or maybe a Sterox Gauge. And so that Jarvan now is finding himself in a situation where he can totally get on top of that Twitch, of that Lulu, try to go for the one-shot, but also have some resistance in the fights. Usually this build is quite unpopular because it requires so much gold, because it costs a lot of gold to set up, and because of that, you do not have a lot of jungle players opting for that build. But right now, that Jarvan is sitting in a very good position. 4, 5, and 8 also is also matching the Kindred in terms of CS, so he feels totally comfortable doing so.
Yeah. More interesting though will be this mid lane matchup here. Actually, is he holding his own when it comes to CS? But if you have a look at gold, that's definitely a different story. Like 2k gold did for the Vega, as well as in the bottom lane, this 1k gold did for the Ashe here, even though she has only 20 CS lead at this time around. But 20 minutes into the game, 22 kills, and a 6k gold lead for CSNO in total for the team. That is definitely something new. This is not the same like last game around. And we see ELG here trying to get some river control, because they know the Baron spawned after minute 20 is definitely an objective that CSNO can look forward to, with the Ashe being so strong.
Yeah, when you have the Dark Matter from the Veigar, when you have also an Ashe that has a BRK and a lot of attack speed already, that Baron is not a distant dream. It's a very, very real objective for the CSNO members. So you have to keep track of that one as much as possible, which is the reason why you have the Azir with the blue trinket, which is the reason why you have all of this vision being set up in the top side. If you look at the small pentagram of wards on the inside of the top side jungle of ELG, to make sure that they can enter this quadrant of the jungle, land some wards, and get some vision around that Baron. Make sure that they do not get it, and they might even be looking to trade objectives, as the Cloud Drake now, sole point for CSNO, is about to spawn.
Yeah. However, we have a team fight breaking out in the mid lane. We do have the Ornn crawling once upon onto the gods. A beautiful flash away by the Jarvan ultimate, and Jarvan himself flashing away from this team fight. But so far only flashes traded. A bit of HP going back and forth. Boosting for free, taken very, very low. He'll be the first to fall. 2 ELG marks. Z here as now Twitch now going big thanks to the Lulu ult and trying to re-engage. He's gonna get invisible, and a lot of damage coming to invulnerabilities will save the Lulu here. Kindred ultimate used to deny the Vega ultimate one shot, but Kugas is gonna get the kill onto the Azir. This is very crucial, because this means a lot of DPS missing for ELG. Now ELG will go down in the end there, and will last member standing, the Lulu. Will she survive? She's gonna dodge the meta, but the quarter kill will come through for the Ashe.
That was so much damage coming through by that Ashe. The Ruins Hurricane dealt so much. I mean, she just took an instant triple kill in that fight, almost killing off a lot of the remaining members of ELG in that fight. It first started to look great in the favor of ELG, playing that beautifully, dodging away the Cataclysm of Jarvan with Malik's flash. Also soaking the damage from the Primordial Burst by the Lamb's Respite. It looked as if all of the teamfight conditions of the lineup of ELG were met. But the only thing that they didn't account for was the 5,000 gold lead at that time, especially given that this Veigar just completed his Rabadon's Death Gap. So this guy was perfectly fine with team fighting at that time. Same goes for the Ashe. She was comfortably sitting on her 2 Eisen Spice, having a lot of support from her Jarvan, from her Nautilus, as well as the Karma that now has an Athene in her build.
Yeah. I do think Vega, sorry, not Vega, ELG Sports actually played this perfectly here, that team fight, but they were just too far behind because the Kindred ultimate was on point. The Honor ultimate was a bit wacky, but still, yeah. Got a kill here.
I think the re-engage after the Lamb's Respite is what was the real mistake here.
I do agree with that one as well.
Right now you can see Nautilus running around in the jungle. He's so fast with the Moby boots and the Karma, and look at that! Look at them go! They are trying to run after that Twitch. Oh, stun connects on the Azir.
Yeah, stun does indeed connect onto the Azir.
Barely enough health to survive that burst. If he didn't dodge the Dark Matter, that would have been
this
a dead
will call for the Baron, and as you can see, it's falling very, very quickly here. Both top laners have TP, but they're not in range. Oh, they're quite busy having a go at each other, but the Azir has a TP as well. We do see the Azir TPing into the pit, and with actually Ashe falling dangerously low, we do have Azir going over to the wall here. Sorry, that was actually the on TP in the Baron that got cancelled. Yep. But Nautilus falling there, as well as Azir now being here to join the party. Vega missing.
Yeah, you have to be careful though. That Veigar is really hungry.
Yeah, and now you see boosting for free here, going for a 1v3 scenario. He's even going to smite for the HP, but this will not be enough. Oh, fast Karma is going to come through. Can she do anything here? HP bars are so low on every end, and one more auto will make at least marks go down, and that's the double kill coming through here. They're still arguing the Baron. Now Ashe has arrived. She will clean up the party here, and if the Baron does not reset right now, it will reset. Nope, it will not. Double kill here for the Ashe with a Baron at 6k HP, back to the point where they left just a few minutes ago.
That Baron has been in combat for so long right now. I bet he's slowly getting tired of all these fights. This was so messy on the side of ELG though. They were half committing towards fighting, half committed towards getting the Baron. And then they started to turn that initially very good play where they cancelled ELG's cancelled Sea Snow's Baron, and also took a couple of kills. And they slowly turned that play into falling one by one to the Karma, and delaying that Baron so hard that it gave enough time for Ashe to come back all the way towards that Baron and finally get 2 kills and finish up that Baron in return.
Yeah, and we do see the dire attempt here by ELG to come back into this game, but with the soul on the sides of Sea Snow, and with this 9 point... Actually, yeah, it's actually quite 9.0 gold lead here, right on the dot, as we do have the Baron minions here jamming away at this inhibitor. Inhibitor tower has fallen, but they're looking for a team fight maybe. A bit scared. But they should not be at all, because they have such a huge advantage right now. Just gonna walk in, get this inhibitor for free, transition to the top lane, most likely pick up yet another one.
And Sea Snow's players are playing it quite slow actually, because that base entrance kind of acts like a cutthroat alley when you're playing against the Ornn that does have the Call of the Forge God available. I do believe that they shouldn't be that fearful, however. They do have a lot of advantage in that game, but playing it slow just ensures that their victory, especially given that their most fed member of the team right now is not grouping with them. He's on the bot side split pushing as that Ornn to apply pressure on both areas, and now you can see ELG really struggling to respond. Tier 3 top tower already taking a lot of damage, half health, and the minions are slowly ticking away. And look at the Karma damage actually taking Kindred out of the fight, and that tower is now completely gonna fall.
Yeah, Vega's going greedy for this bot lane tower, taking 2 tower shots here. And not sure if he's not gonna do that again, he's gonna wait for his team here.
Yeah, and Seasnow right now, they might not care about the minion wave at all. They are just going to be taking every single structure on the map and leave ELG with nothing to make them pay back for the first game. And right now they are advancing with the minion wave onto these tier 4 towers. It has to be now.
Oh no. Well, this pretty much sums up game number 2 from ELG Sports, because that ulti does not only mean that there will be teamfight breaking out with no Call of the Forge God available, as also Twitch has gone immensely huge here thanks to the Lulu ultimate and actually picking up a kill here, but Ash has returned the favor and Vega now getting the second one, as well as Ash going for that double kill, 3 kills in their favor already, triple kill coming through, and Jarvan picking up yet another one, triple and double kill here coming through for both of those guys. Definitely a good way to end the game. 30 kills to 13 and more than a convincing win from this side of Seasnow.
Some XD are starting to come through in the old chat. I think these are well deserved after that missed on ultimate. That was, I'm not gonna lie, that was the funniest last stand that I was given to see in a long time. Oh god.
Well, luckily this means that we will have yet another game coming through here, but we shall have a look at, first of all, the damage graphs here. And you can see Karma here actually putting out so much damage. I mean, she was supposed to be the bully in top lane, and I think she did bully quite a lot, because she did held her own in this top lane, did not get a lot of jungle assistance, but managed to bully Dion out of lane, often even survived the ganks by Kindred, and yeah, did pretty well.
Not only did she like trade with the on all of the time in that lane, but also she lent a couple of very good Q spells, mantra Q spells on during team fights that dealt so much damage.
Yeah, and she was responsible for retaking this Baron pit. Like, they lost the team fight at the Baron thanks to HP was being low, and then she came in swiftly here, full speed ahead, managed to take down the Azir as well as the Lulu, I believe. So definitely really, really important key to this victory and the success of this series, but yet not decided, because this will tie the series to a 1-1, and we will head into a very short break and be right back with you in approximately 2 minutes. So don't go anywhere, and maybe go anywhere, like grab a drink and a snack, but come back.
They say you're only young once, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever. They say you're only young once, but we live for it, we live for it, we live for forever. You at the hideout, where we can dream again. I'll tell you all my secrets, wearing courage like a second skin. The kids are all dying, we're dying to believe again. Run through the open streets, we take what is needed. They say you're only young once, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever. They say you're only young once, but we live for it, we live for it, we live for forever. We can dream all night.
hearts on fire. The dreamers are all here. We could change your mind. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we live for it, we live for forever. We can drink all night till the sun rises. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever.
And there we go. Welcome back, everybody, to the TG Diamond League here, live on Connecting Esports. We do have a beautiful game just behind us because we did have this comeback here indeed. So CE Snow tying the series to a 1-1, not looking to give up just yet. And actually, for everybody who was betting on red side, I have sad news for you because it was blue side winning. So good job me by betting against you, Sherlock, I guess.
I mean, I've already lost $20,000 on this on this series, so I'm not even mad anymore. I'm just feeling empty inside.
Oh god. Has started. Soon he's going to be selling his grandmother just to keep betting in our Twitch chat here. But of course, you do know the phrase if you have been a common viewer. But yeah, let's have a look at what these teams have in mind for game number 3, because the teams are loading into the lobby, just waiting for actually ELG spots to load up. See, Snow is already in here.
I mean, I really need to make a couple of very nice bets right now, and you know, it's not even like there is a tendency in this series, right? Because on the first game, I think it was the red side that won. Yeah.
Yes. In the first one, it was the red side winning, and the second was
no,
it was twice the blue side winning. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. So it is blue side. It is a 100% win rate on the blue side. So if I stop over analyzing everything and just refer to like the randomness of the series, I'm gonna say that blue side is gonna win again this match. So I know where to place my bet already. Okay. You can open them before the draft.
Let's see if you're correct. But first of all, we have to go into the spectator delay. Sorry, there's a virtual draft actually. What's wrong with me? And then yeah, we'll have a look at these in just a second here.
I'm really happy to see, by the way, CE Snow not letting themselves get down. I was tackling the mental issue between game 1 and game 2, and having them win game 2 really shows that it wasn't about the draft more than it was about like lack of communication, just random things going bad during the game between maybe the players and just general coordination. And now coming back, still having a strong mental, and because their draft just has so much CC, and they were able to find very good skirmishes in the early game, all of that amounts to them winning that game. And it's really good to see that they still have an answer. They still have a fighting spirit, even after a game 1 that really wasn't that great for them, especially given the kill count that game. It was something like 25 to 4 or 5. So a pretty hard game to lose. And having them bounce back like this makes me excited to see more of them in the future.
Yeah, and we will head into the virtual draft in just a second here as we are waiting for the last player to get into the lobby. as soon as that one is in, we will start the virtual draft.
And now ELG Sports might pay some respect to some of the picks that CSNO has been able to put up. They have already banned the Varus in the first game, so maybe they will go for a very AD focused ban phase with by banning away both Ashe and Varus. The thing is that their own AD carry also pilots the Varus to a certain extent, so they could decide to just ban away the Ashe and then snatch away the Varus as a first pick. And that would be one way to tackle this draft, this third draft. But we'll have to see when they get ready what will be their decision E, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry, did they start the draft or am I okay? It's not.
No, not yet.
Yeah, I'm just clarifying something because LG did get the first strike as well. So. Thanks. Hey.
Also, by the way, something that is really interesting is that the Drake control in both games has been 100% so far, which really tells you a lot about how this game is bot lane focused on the side of these two teams, and how they and the way they like to play and utilize bot lane pressure, because as soon as one of these team manages to get a hold of the bottom lane pressure, they will make sure to utilize it as well as they can to make the most of it, and also to try and get as much deep vision to the enemy jungle as they can. We have seen, for example, in the first game, whenever the Varus Karma started to not work out well because the Varus started to go for a on-hit build, that was around that time where the Senna and the Set started to catch up on this duo and to regain the bottom lane pressure. And that was also the time at which they, strangely enough, right, started to do some of these Drakes, and they got like 2 or 3 Drakes in a row, and they were very close to getting that soul if they hadn't finished that game instead. And in the second game, kind of the same thing happens, right? You have the bot lane who gets the full pressure, and then the Kindred doesn't really find any like good opportunity of ganking, aside from that gank that went super poorly in the early game because of the Vigard TP and whatnot. And so, because all of this, drafting a strong bot lane duo.
I misclicked.
Right.
Okay, back to the draft. Banning away the Orianna. Sorry, my bad. You just
So just getting outright a strong bot lane duo is really pivotal for both of these teams. It doesn't matter as much for the top lane matchup or mid lane matchup. As long as you do have the pressure on the bottom side, these two teams will know what to do with it and how to play the game. Now, banning away the Ivern still by CSNO, showing some respect to the jungler of ELG Sports, who had a great game on the tree man.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just confirming something with the teams here while we have this draft on the way. And with Ivan off the table, I believe CSNO is not looking to adapt because they felt pretty confident after this win.
Yeah.
But with Orianna off the table, there's actually, once again, I really want ELG Sports to, well, this just keeps working for them, but they also need something else. So there we go. The Vega off the table, that is exactly what I wanted to say. really want them to respect the enemy mid laner here. And with the Vega off the table, such an easy to execute champion, especially if you go this Glacial, just so much easier to execute. And now Snow going for the standard as will ban.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like the GLP hex deck, right? It was all of the CC that there was around it. Once the Vigar presses that GLP, it's so easy for the Nautilus to land that dredge line. It's so easy for the Jarvan to land his combo effectively. There was just too much follow-up for the pick that game. And so banning it away is a great decision. Now, as I've said before, banning away the Ashe and then first picking the Varus would also deny two comfort picks for the CE Snow AD carry, so that we could see it sitting on the bench for that third CE Snow ban. I am wondering. Now, the thing also is that for now, the bot lane, the blue side getting 2 wins in a row in that series is also telling you a lot about what these teams are capable of. Because blue side is all about constructing a game plan, and red side is all about trying to counter that game plan. And the thing is that these two teams are so much more comfortable when you have an AD-centric composition, an AD-centric playstyle. It's so much easier to build, to just outright build around it and let the enemy do the mistakes on their own, rather than trying to counter the enemy team. Now, interestingly enough, Snow decides for an Azir ban, and ELG, they go straight towards the Senna, which has worked very well against the Varus of Snow in the first game. But now, with the Varus and Karma combo being opened once again for Snow, you have to wonder, will the AD carry of Snow actually adapt and try to go for the lethality build instead? That has to be the question now in your mind when you're watching this draft.
I mean, interestingly enough, we do have kind of a one back from game number 1, and if you remember correctly, this was ELG Sports winning game number 1, so I'm not too sure if Snow is gonna pick the exact same things, but the Karma has been locked in, so has not yet the set here, but the Karma lock-in definitely liking this because it prevents yet another on, or if it will bring the on from the ELG sides, it will be yet again a unfavorable matchup here, as well as a weak top lane. But yeah, On did not have a bad performance per se, but he did have a very unprofessional, not unprofessional, what I'm saying.
Weak impact?
Yeah, weak impact coming out of this lane, pretty hurt from the constant bully of this Karma range and Karma poke.
And these two picks make it super interesting, by the way, because Senna was actually the blue 2 pick in game 1, where ELG Sports decided to go for the set first pick. And now CE Snow are actually denying it and picking the set and Karma. So as you said, right, you have the flex possibility of swapping the two in between the top lane and support position, so that ELG Sports, they are stuck in a position where they don't really know how to react. And now they could be trying to outsmart Snow by locking in the Varus right now, try to do a fasting Senna with a Varus AD carry. That could be a possibility. But you can be sure that whatever comes next in that CE Snow draft in red 3 position is going to be that Varus before it's banned away, I would assume.
I mean, this Wukong is giving me hope for ELG Sports, but it's also scaring me if I'm looking at CE Snow's lineup already, because they have a lot of damage negation here, looking at the Karma shields, looking at the set W, and there we go, the Varus being locked in instead. Does tell me they're not just going to look and stand by, but this is actually offering a very new way of looking at this bot lane, or even potentially a mid lane Varus.
Yeah, absolutely. The Azir being banned away, right? It means that we are definitely going to be seeing something new from the ELG Sports mid laner. So this, as you mentioned, right, could be a Varus in the mid lane. Especially given that this mid laner has been playing a lot of AD carry in Clash, for example. So not in the mid lane for sure, but still, when you have a player that is able to pilot the pick and who also knows the mid lane, you can quite easily mash up the two and pilot an AD carry in the mid lane just from your overall knowledge and have things go well in your way.
Yeah.
Make sure that the enemy mid laner is not playing that much assassin, which is absolutely not the case on the side of CE Snow, and you get yourself a very safe a very safe first half of the draft. Now, Gragas being locked in as well by ELG Sports, a very multi-role jungler.
Yeah, I mean, the Gragas is something I like. It's going to be opening up a new way of playing this jungle regarding to the Ivern in the first game. But this is definitely more aggressive. It's also better than the Kindred. But definitely a new face here for Nevermore. Let's see
And
the
now
Kai'Sa, okay.
Yeah, Kai'Sa being locked in, which is really smart, by the way, because it goes very well both with the Karma and the set. So once again, right, by picking an AD carry that doesn't have a straight identity, Pride Mount, by the way, but who doesn't have a clear-cut identity, you are still hiding your cards in your hand and not showing what you are trying to do with these first 3 picks, and then you still have the surprise coming through in red 4, red 5 position. So I really do love that what CE Snow is doing right now, especially considering that, set Karma alongside Kai'Sa, it makes up for a lot of utility, a lot of space control and openings for the Kai'Sa to work in a teamfight environment in the late game. So you are building an overall teamfight comp that is very good, as well as hiding what you're trying to do in the laning phase, so that you can buy as much safety as possible for all of these picks that need some time to get online. So for now, CE Snow's draft does have a slight edge in that draft, especially considering that they still have the counter pick available.
Yeah.
And so now banning away a lot of options in the mid lane specifically.
I really do like these flex picks here from CE Snow. I must say, like, this Karma, this set, you have touched on this. I think it is really, really good. And now, as you said, the mid lane under pressure here because the mid lane is going to get banned out twice by each team. So, yeah. Azir, Xindra, as well as Orianna, Cassiopeia, even the Vega, so a triple ban out here for the mid lane. So really shrinking down this mid lane pool of champions and looking how deep these picks go for each mid laner. Like, what are your comfort picks? When do they end? And when is it just like a pick that you can play, but not to the perfection? So yeah, looking forward to see what they have in mind for this mid lane. And don't forget, it can still be the Varus mid lane. So ELG Sports now with the last ban in this game number 3 for the deciding game. See what they have in mind.
Yeah, I would still doubt that this would be a Varus mid lane. I mean, as I've said, I've been hyping it up, saying that the guy did play some AD carries, but aside from that, if you consider things from ELG's perspective, you have Varus Senna into Kai'Sa whatever. So this is really the type of bot lane that you want, where you have a bot lane that has everything. It's like it's like an all-in-one. It's like an all-in-one pack. You have poke, you have sustain, you have rotation, you have utility, you have CC, you have gank setup. So you're feeling very happy playing this on the side of ELG, especially considering that whatever it is that is on the support role on the side of CE Snow does not have enough hard engage to really threaten the Varus and the Senna. Now, this could change with a fancy pick in the jungle, such as Hecarim, for example.
I'm not being against. Oh, it is actually locked in. I was so doubting that this will go through because it's a common pick into a Gragas, for example, because it has a very same pacing style. Like, it's very aggressive, it's very fast when it comes to ganks. and explosive, like of course because of the explosive cast from Gragas, but also because of the damage output from both of these junglers. They have a really good engage, and yeah, let's have a look at what ELG will do in response to this aggressive Hecarim. It could still be, very unlikely, but it could still be the Hecarim going into another position than the jungle. I have seen that once in my life in competitive play, but I don't think it will be a thing again. Do you remember that Hecarim top lane? Was
the Hecarim top lane?
Yeah, I did see that once in competitive play. It was not so great, but hey, at least it was there. And then, ooh, so not only the helicopter is coming too, but also the Windmaster himself. He also here on the board for ELG Sports, definitely looking to make this one a spicy one.
Yeah, they do have the Gragas for the big combo mid-jungle duo. And so they are finding themselves, if they do lock in that rumble, they are finding themselves with a huge team fighting composition that will also do well in the laning phase alone, and that is also very good at skirmishing, which is something that they definitely lacked in the previous game. That costed them the game, because in that previous in the second game, when they lost so much of these skirmishes and Vigar found himself on a huge lead, they couldn't come back, even with all of the wave management in the world. They weren't able to find anything in return. And even with the perfect team fight, almost perfect team fight that they managed to pull off in that mid lane. So ELG now picking a lot more early power-oriented team fighting composition that doesn't have such a late game threshold, that comes online at like one or two item, one on the side of the Rumble, Varus, for example, two on the side of the Yasuo maybe, and the Senna. So right there, you're finding yourself with a composition where ELG has kind of, shall I say, compensated the problems that they had in the previous game. Yeah. Now CSNO final pick is going to be the Mordekaiser, so this one is definitely going to be going to the mid lane, I feel like, against the Yasuo.
We'll be finding out very, very soon. So just waiting for both teams to be ready. But interestingly enough, this lineup is very, very, very hard to analyze when it comes to ELG side, because they have so much damage and so much explosions, so much of everything. Basically, they have the the long range Rumble ultimate coming in, teamfight decider, as well as the good combo Gragas Yasuo, as well as the Gragas jungling pathing, which is also very impactful. And then you have a bot lane that is very untraditional, like the Senna Varus. This will most likely be once again the feasting Senna, but I'm not quite sure if this will work out the same as if it would be with a tank. So that's worth actually pulling up here my biggest issue for the ELG Sports tank. They do not have a traditional tank, so they don't have a really big front line. And then you look onto CSNO, they have the Set, who has the ability to even negate some of the damage with his W, and then the Karma Shield coming in, a Kai'Sa Shield and Ultimate, where she can misplace herself into a different position if she gets into trouble, a Hecarim Ultimate, which will fear the enemy team, long range engage kind of as well, and of course the Mordekaiser, who will function as well as the Hecarim like kind of an off-tank boozer, while doing a lot of damage still, just based off a lot of HP. So CSNO definitely looking more healthy, but not sure if they have enough damage to deal with ELG Sports damage coming out here, just pure fire coming from them.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that is the most important for that front line being non-existent on the side of ELG is that, sure, you do have a lot of CC with the Varus, Gragas, Senna, and you also have a bit of like utility that helps a lot with the win wall. But the thing is that you do not have anything to effectively prevent the front line of the CSNO from functioning. Because usually when you do not draft a front line, that's because you do not need any, and either you do not need any because there is no front line in the enemy team, or you do not need any because the front line of the enemy team cannot function. And right there is strictly nothing that prevents Mordekaiser from pressing R onto someone, Hecarim is unstoppable in his ultimate, and you do not have enough terrain deformation to prevent him from just walking up to one of your target with his E. And Set also with a Showstopper, he's going to be unstoppable as well, along with maybe a Dead Man's Plate. And then you have the same problem that that rises with the Hecarim in terms of terrain deformation. So, all in all, I think that Seasnow are finding themselves with a very strong comp. But the thing is that they need to, once again, just like in Game 2, find an edge, or else ELG's composition is going to be so much stronger once they hit that mid game, because Set on 1 or 2 item, not that threatening. Kaisa on 1 and 2 items, then again, right, she can do some damage, but not just as much as a Yasuo or a Varus that has the same amount of gold.
Even a Gragas, like he's gonna reach after he has this ability damage jungle item completed, he will go for most likely yet another item, and he does have a lot of burst damage. Like it's not to be underestimated, and we saw Varus pop off. So yeah, just a lot of damage overall coming to from ELG.
So I guess that this would be a Mordekaiser top lane with a Karma support, because Set is so good into Yasuo. Where basically the matchup is so tough for the Yasuo that he cannot even approach his minions without the help of his jungler. Else he almost automatically loses every single trade he can take, given that he cannot dash away, he cannot really escape the Haymaker, and then again his mobility is not enough to chase away from the Set once he activates his Q spell.
Yeah,
and like base damage from Set will do the rest. So Set mid lane pressure definitely in the favor of Snow in this game. You also have the Hecarim, which is a very good genre. As you mentioned before, he does have, in his kit, he does have the same pace, if not better, than what Gragas has. And so he's going to be able to prevent ganks, counter gank, and also counter jungle and invade that Gragas so much more in that jungle. And that will be, these two mid lane combos will be pivotal for that game. If there is one player that you have to watch on each team, it has to be these two mid laners.
Yeah, I mean, the mid lane matchup, I'm actually curious, because I was thinking about a way of making this in favor of Yasuo, because we have this combination of Gragas and Yasuo, but it's only after 6, and that is exactly where Set is shining. Like, he's so good in these early levels, considering he can just do the perfect counterplay to the Yasuo, because Yasuo, what's he gonna do once he sees the wave? He's gonna press E until his fingers are gonna be broken, he's gonna dash to every minion, and Set is gonna do the exact same. He's just gonna walk in the middle of the minions, he's going to press E because that's completely covering nearly the whole wave, and Yasuo is going to be stunned. That means follow-up auto from the passive from Set that's going to do already a lot of damage. Then you can have the Q just to chase him down once more, and if Yasuo decides to trade with you, what you're going to do with Set, you're just going to proc your W, negate some damage, and return some 2 damage if you hit it. So definitely outtrade potential in the mid lane here by the Set. Looking forward to this one. He was in an uncomfortable position in the first game with the Kassadin into the Azir, got punished for it, as well as his jungler kind of having a bad early game. But now, of course, it's revenge time, I think, for him. He's going to look forward to, after popping off on this Veigar, to now pop off on this Set against the Yasuo.
And for we have yet to see in this game. No, actually, never mind. I was about to say that we have yet to see in this game the mid laner of Seasnow pop off, but I somehow just forgot the game he played on the Veigar in game 2. Like, what was I even thinking?
Yeah, interestingly enough, I do believe that this is the center support this time around, so not too sure about this one.
Yeah, that's already better than what was being played in game 2, right? I do believe that fasting Senna has a still has a long way to go, because the fasting possibilities are so much unexplored in solo queue or in pro play. Like, people have never tried to fasten Senna with maybe something like an Azir, with a Corki even. It opens up a lot in terms of possibilities and in terms of just the possibility of having two carries sitting on the same lane and both of them are getting resources is just crazy. And that's why I really like Senna as a support and not as an AD carry. And also having her just sit by a carry and help him shine while she's getting funneled at the same time is gonna be so good for ELG, because they they are so much better whenever they have these this skirmish power in the early to mid game, and whenever they can play along with their jungler, it's gonna be really good to see this happening.
We have loaded into the game, so we'll have a look quickly at the runes here. So Predator coming out for Gragas, pretty much standard here, as to be expected, as well as on the mid lane, this Conqueror coming through here for the Yasuo. But more interestingly, we do have on the other side a Conqueror as well on the Hecarim, so he's going to want the standard build and not the more aggressive build, telling me he's going to look to be a boozer as well. And of course the Halo Blades in the bottom lane, which has been pretty standard. But Malik actually going for the comment on this Varus here, as well as a Grasp of the Undying on the Senna. And Phase Rush in the top lane. And yet another 5 stack into the bottom lane. He's going to run into Malik. They're going to be spotting this guy. Is he going to get away with it? Yep, he's just fine. Even using one of the corruption potions. But in the end, scaling the E, blowing everybody, and he's definitely fine.
Yeah, good cover by him, not getting surprised by the early invade that Snow wanted to pull off. Now, ELG are gonna get the information in the top side of the jungle, so if Hecarim decides to go for the full clear route, he will get spotted in that when not transitioning in the top side yet.
Yeah.
But if he decides to go hard on that top side, though, he is gonna get spotted by that ward. And interestingly enough, though, it will give the opportunity to Gragas to just completely clear his own quadrant of the map, and then if he doesn't spot the Hecarim on the top side, he can just recall, get his boots, and since he's playing Predator, maybe look for a gank soon in the game, or counter gank even.
Yeah, interestingly enough, we do have both junglers starting once again on the bottom side. And there we see already the Gragas potential. This is the pacing I was talking about there. We're forcing a flash from Syria here, just instantly being aggressive in this mid lane. And this is exactly why Yasuo is going to have a good time, even though he's going to, as you can see now, be out-traded in the long run. But yeah, if Gragas will pay a lot of attention to his lane, he's not going to fall behind anytime soon. And every other lane, I think, is pretty much safe and sound on their own.
But Yasuo has to be really careful, though, because that said, he's playing with an Ignite in that mid lane, and the Exhaust will not save him from all of the true damage that this pick is able to pull off. Right now you can see the Varus starting to slowly do his poke work onto that Kai'Sa.
Yep.
Along with the Senna. Oh, Yasuo suffering a lot already of that negative matchup we were highlighting in the spectral wait.
Oh, good dodge there on the Varus Q, but we do see them now going a bit more aggressive. HP was traded back and forth here. Malik, oof, even getting hit by the W from the Kai'Sa, so definitely low here. And in the mid lane, ooh, okay, Snow, sorry, see Snow's mid lane here playing with fire, as he's gonna dodge that turret shot last second, getting out of aggro range. And now in the top lane we have a gank potential here. Boosting for free is gonna come in, force a flash already, but his ghost is now on cooldown, and boosting is gonna take him very, very low. He's gonna go down. Don't forget that this guy is very, very squishy, and even Jon Snow has to flash away now and stay alive. So yeah, not agreeing with this pathing. Hecarim here going for the top lane. The Mordekaiser and the Hecarim together are not that strong, even though they have a good continuous damage output, but they're not that strong early on. I think Rumble and Gragas have a lot more burst damage in these early levels. And there we go. Oof. That just bump, and Marx is back to the grayscale land.
Is that a JoJo reference?
Maybe.
And right there, that matchup finally is paying off for the mid laner of CE Snow, as he's eventually taking his first kill of the game. I'm pretty sure that this is only going to be the first in a series, because let's be honest, that matchup is only getting worse for the Yasuo as time goes by. And Gragas now on the top side again.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say, Gragas here is just going to punish, and this is Nevermore actually impacting the game so much. 2 kills in his favor already, and that is beautifully even transitioned both of these kills onto the Rumble. So Rumble in such a good position right now, and Mordekaiser is not going to be happy.
Hecarim finding the Gragas in the river half of the mid lane. Now Set wasn't quite there, so there is no skirmish for him to take, and he just have to patiently accept to be outplaced by that Gragas for now. He does have some CS advantage, but the thing is that this Rumble now is going to be having such a good time in the into the Mordekaiser, especially given that he does have a double buff right now, and also once he gets that Haunting Guise completed already, he'll have such a good lane into that Mordekaiser. Now, hold on though. Hecarim trying to go onto the Yasuo, takes half of his life in payback because of the tower.
Yeah, and we can see this top lane actually already 1k gold lead, so that is really huge this early on in the top lane alone. But of course, since the mid laner got a kill on his own, this will bring it back in balance of CE Snow. But there you go, ELG Mark is just having so much trouble dealing with this set now.
One could argue that the tier 2 boots are not that offensive of an itemization choice, but that will have to hold on because there might be an early skirmish in that bottom lane.
They're going to go so far for a little bit of a back and forth in the top lane, as well as a Drake attempt here by the junglers. They will be uncontestingly getting this Drake here, Infernal Drake, in favor, as we see Jon Snow here under actually a lot of fire, not snow, because Rumble has used his ultimate to put this guy under some pressure and deny him some farm, just adding insult to injury. And there we see good engagement to Malik here on the bottom lane, but Malik does have his flash available, does decide to flash very late, gets taken down, and that kill will be going over to boosting for free, which is so important in my opinion, because Hecarim is one of these champions, if you fall behind, you're just gonna have no impact anymore because you blow up before you can get your combo off, and you're so good on just staying on top of an enemy and doing damage. Okay, Malik actually TPing back to lane, and he will be punished because actually here going aggressively immediately, and Karma will get that kill, but now is the Ignite ticking on Senna. She's gonna get maybe oh no, she's alive. Oh, both these AD carries escaping this with only a sliver of health, and there's big boy Gragas. He said, I am not done with you, come back here. And that will be the first kill. Can he get a second? He doesn't have anything up, so that will be just a free kill for him. Still better to get the support than the AD carry, but yeah.
Yeah, it's only a mechanical misplay by that Gragas to not get these 2 kills. I feel like he could just kill that Karma with the Protoll damage and then E and W, and then keep the Q for the Karma.
Yeah, exhaust in the mid lane. Max is trying his damnedest to stay alive. Oh, what a flash! Fancy feat here by Syria, but he's gonna stay alive, the Yasuo, because he did flash as well afterwards. So 2 beautiful flashes coming through, and overall I think that was a very good trade. With the recall being completed, that means Hecarim is just here to say hi, but he's gonna run into Gragas now, and he's low on HP. So let's find out how this one will go. He's gonna get rooted. Gragas has explosive cast available.
There is no Yasuo to follow up on that though.
Ooh, beautiful execution of that one. Actually, he's gonna get snared up. He's gonna get taken down. There's Senna taking that kill for herself, but Karma does return the favor by taking down the fat drunken man. Nevermore actually now maybe initiating this team fight because he has been given a 2v3 situation and Malik will go down first and then now Marx will be the second one to fall with Seth getting the double kill. And so much action all across the game.
Now Kaiser has joined the party as well in the mid lane. Looks like this team is going to be aiming for those sweet platings in that on that mid lane tower. Hecarim actually says, "No, I want to dive. You know what?
Oh no, yet again.
Just getting away with a pixel as a health bar.
Yeah.
This is so unfair." Well, so unfair, but also very well played. You have to acknowledge the work that Nevermore is putting out in this game to always be there at the right place at the right time and doing his best. For now, this man is sitting on 100% kill participation on the side of ELG.
Yeah, I mean, Gregors is doing pretty well for himself, even though he got taken out by the support there in that extended trade. But yeah, not too shabby on the other side. We see exactly the lane that we wanted to win is this set, and it's going to be so crucial for the mid game. But seeing the Wumble and the Gregors being on those 2 kills is also very scary, if you ask me.
Yeah, I know, right? Especially given that you have... Oh, hold on.
Ooh, good choice here by Jon Snow, realizing that if he fights the jungler with 1 experience... Oh, even going golden here, and now he might have a bit of an issue here because he's gonna stay alive for now, but it's not enough, and let's see if boosting for free will go in. Nope, he does decide to back off.
That Mordekaiser is really having a bad time in his game right now, as he's pretty much the only player of his roster to be behind compared to his opponent. Well, that with the Hecarim, but I would say a laner.
Oh, good
that might be
initiation here, but oh no, the Sun ultimate is coming down here, and that's so crucial because it's gonna keep Nevermore alive and give Yasuo finally a kill, as well as Malik on the bottom lane taking down the Kaiser under the turret. So see Snow in a lot of trouble because ELG has turned on the engines.
Yeah, and this time around, Malik also is piloting that Varus with the lethality build, so finally doing the big justice by getting that nice kill. And this also means that the Drake is now on the line with the bot lane having the pressure over the enemies. As you can see, Gragas is late to the party, and also the players of CE Snow are reacting quite nicely by grouping up into the river at that timing. This is gonna be a huge skirmish. Gragas has the explosive cask and Yasuo is near. Watch out.
Ooh, no smite available for boosting for free. That means the Drake will go over to Nevermore, as well as a double kill here very soon. Never mind, it's actually Yasuo picking that one up. So 1 kill in their favor, as well as the Drake. Beautiful play here by ELG Sports. And I do not agree with CE Snow going for this Drake. You should not risk it for the biscuit because you don't have smite available, so at least focus on the team fight. But they even lost the team fight and the objective, so no good times ahead.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is that since you were finding yourself with a lead early onto that set, and your jungler has such a deficit compared to the enemy jungler, right now he's almost 2 levels down compared to that Gragas.
Yeah, and Gragas completed jungle item.
Yeah, on top of that, like, to his defense, Hecarim is not planning on finishing that jungle item just yet, so that has to be said. But you really do not have to go for that kind of play, right? You have a mid lane that you need to make snowball to make effectively snowball first. You have a bot lane that you can also capitalize on, where you have some good follow-up with the Karma movement speed and the clear instinct from the Kaiser, so you should be focusing around your lanes first rather than, you know, the jungle.
Yeah. Also, ELG Sports managed to pick up one plating in each lane as we are approaching this 14-minute mark. And now we have actually Max going super aggressive here. And Zed realizing this, so he's gonna get helped by his jungler. Boosting for free has now joined the party, but he is exhausted. And with the Senna shield coming through here once again, Nevermore will stay alive. And even Mark's going for the flashy play once again, taking down his mid lane opponent, making this a 2-for-0 trade, but at the expense of a lot of ultimates and flashes.
And yet Emo has been so on point with these dawning shadows all over the place. He's really been making the difference so far in that game, and look at that, it's actually paying off on his side. 1-0-7 on this Senna, so really doing a great work so far. And also you have to take into account the fact that he's punching this Senna with the Grasp of the Undying build, with the Black Cleaver as a first item, so he's going to go for the much more late game oriented scaling build of the Senna. So slowly stacking up all of these assists is really pivotal for that Senna to have a stable income that will match her itemization, which is why these Dawning Shadows are even more important than they seem.
Yep. Cannot disagree with that one, because I feel like Senna is actually their way into the mid game, especially if she's this far ahead, giving sustain, giving shields, because that's really what they are lacking. If you remember the draft, I was criticizing that there's no official tank on this ELG Sports lineup, and yeah, having a Senna that can heal you, that can shield you, is definitely important.
Even better if the Senna herself is sitting on like 2,700 or 3,000 health, with the Black Cleaver, Grasp, Overgrowth, and then the Frozen Mallet on top of that. So Yasuo as well can go for a bit of tankiness in his build with the Starix Gauge.
Even Phantom Dancer,
Frozen Mallet.
if he does decide to not go Starix Gauge, even a Phantom Dancer is a defensive item at some point, seeing as it gives you a shield. But yeah, looking right now at, oh, Jon Snow once again here under pressure, but this Rumble ulti only tickles him. It's not like it was a lot of damage coming through here.
Yeah, mostly to prevent him from joining his team, as we could see Gragas and Yasuo trying to pick up a fight in the lower half of the top side quadrant. Right now, teams are going to be slowly starting to have their sights aimed at this
the mistake he made by his Jon Snow, which will most likely cost him his life in this tower dive attempt here at the top lane, is he used his W early on. But first, let's have a look at his fight in the bottom lane, as we see boosting for free getting taken very low, forced to use the heal here on the Kai'Sa, and they're not even going to get anything in return, as we will transition back to the top lane where we see Jon Snow being taken down now. And to clarify, Jon Snow got taken down because his W was used, and it's such a big cooldown that you don't want to be using. And we see now Zed here re-engaging with the help of the friends from his teams, and he's gonna get one kill, even a shutdown here. Very, very good. So double kill here. Well, only losing one. Well, also losing two. Sorry.
That Yasuo is now sitting on a bit more items than they said, but it just doesn't matter, as Zed is spiking so much harder than this Yasuo with just the BRK. Means that you still cannot pick up some fights without the Gragas being around to set you up. Now Gragas trying to go maybe for the steal on that Ocean Drake. Smite is not quite available for CE Snow once again, so they will have maybe to concede that one.
Ooh, Nevermore. You in a dire situation if you get collapsed on, but luckily for you, my man, they don't know that the whole ELG lineup was in base, so no collapse happening just yet.
And right now, it looks like CE Snow is completely deciding to throw away that Drake and just give it over to their opponents, as they would rather be in a comfortable situation to keep playing their game rather than trying to risk it all on a messy fight in that river.
Yeah, I mean, Ocean Drake's soul is so dangerous here, I believe, because you have these fighting champions. Like, these are champions that are looking to fight every minute or so. So definitely a good way of healing back by damage output. So the soul, whoever gets it, will be very much in favor of both teams. So there's not like a specific team that
Yeah.
benefits more. Actually, both teams having a really good time once they should get a soul. Now we see gank attempt here at the top lane, or rather a roam here by the set, but Wombat is backing off, feeling something's fishy, not going for anything.
Making his way to the top side as well to maybe even things out if that Rumble decides to go ham.
They do spot him.
And so now we are seeing a lot of the players of ELG actually grouping up to that top side of the map, trying to maybe get on top of that Rift Herald. Meanwhile, Mordekaiser TP's back in the back of that Yasuo.
That was a very good TP here coming too, but we have to see what's going to happen because it looks like he's about to get taken down, has to flash away, he's going to come out of the Mordekaiser ultimate, does not have time to do anything else, and yeah, while trading Herald for Yasuo, as well as getting a TP out of it, and a flash.
That's a lot of investment to only get a single kill in return. Meanwhile, ELG, they have gotten a better position all around the map, they have pushed all of the top side of the map, taken down the Rift Herald, and also on top of that, got all of the summoner spells out of Mordekaiser. That's really a good operation in the end for ELG.
Yeah, this is the big issue with a Yasuo player. He's so slippery to catch. And they even get the tier 2 here. The Herald flashes as 2 summoner spells, as you said. So definitely ELG supports here in the driving seat. It was not like CSNO was controlling that one, even though they called for that play, it still felt like ELG was getting the better end of that one. We're yet to see tier 1 to fall on the side of ELG. So CSNO just looking to make that one happen. Maybe in the mid lane, they're grouping as 4 members, but seems like some recalls coming in and everything will not turn into a big messy fight or a siege.
Yeah, right now things are really looking dire for CSNO as they do have a ticking time bomb up their heads because of the itemization choices of the players of ELG. The Senna going for the very defensive scaling build, as well as the Yasuo going for that has options for going into defensive itemization as well, along with the Gragas going for full AP build, means that since you are behind, sure, when you're talking about 6 item compositions, I do give the edge to CSNO. But right now, this is completely out of the picture, right? This is just never going to happen at this stage of the game, because you have a Gragas that is 4-1 and 8, you have a Rumble that is 3-0 and 1 and has yet to show up in teamfights. You also have a Yasuo that is spiking onto items. So the moment in the game where CSNO outscales the comp of ELG is just so far. That it's just unreachable for now. And now Gragas.
Yeah, I was about to comment on this, but I don't think it was worth commenting. It was just a 1v2 fight, but we have a actually better situation here, where we have a great engagement by Hackum here, taking out, in the end, donating that kill to Kaiser. So 1-for-1 trade, but it was only the Senna falling, so not the best play whatsoever, or sorry, not the best trade whatsoever. But then again, they did get Malek's flash, making him vulnerable for, once again, one of these engages in the future.
Also, taking down the support means that they could try to take advantage of this, try to get some vision, as the main warding tool of the ELG lineup is now down.
Yeah, definitely a good chance to get in some deep wards. Especially looking at this Drake that's about to spawn in 20 seconds, and the cancelled recalls onto this Kaiser actually. Interestingly enough, if I look at the gold, she has quite a lot of gold in her inventory, but I think she's trying to get just enough to finish her item. But now there's no time to recall anymore because the Drake has been called for.
Really looking for that Ginzu now. All players gravitating towards that Drake, looking to bring the game to soul points in the favor of ELG. And that Ocean Soul is just so good when you do not have a real front line and you have such champions as Rumble, as Gragas, as Senna, who can trigger the soul from a safe distance. Add the Varus on top of that. So this soul is really going to be doing a lot of work for these champions. Poking down the enemy team, dropping them low, and on your own, you are regenerating any type of damage that they would actually throw at you while they are not hard engaging. It's really going to be doing a lot, especially if you do have the advantage. So the Ocean Soul is such a big, is such a good soul whenever you are, whenever you have the advantage. It's really amazing at completely preventing any chance of a comeback by the enemies.
This basically tells me one thing. So you're talking about this Ocean Soul being such a big key feature now in the team that's ahead and leading this game. This tells me that in this exact moment of the game, it's going to put a real big timer on the CE Snow team, because that means in 3 minutes and 50 seconds they have to contest this Drake if they are not planning on being an even more harder to come back situation. So basically they have 3 minutes and 50 seconds to make all of their income go to the right people, to make maybe some picks, to get a slight advantage anywhere, so that when this team fight 5-on-5 will happen at the Drake pit, they have an advantage.
The main problem is how early this point in the game is coming online, because remember, right, what we've said during the draft, we said that this composition of ELG is so much stronger than that of CE Snow. Hold on though, Rumble getting out of sets.
Yeah, but double flash coming too. Sorry, double ultimate coming too here as well as double flash. So now set in such a big hassle. He's gonna have his W still available, and he's gonna take everybody super low. Heckham is here to save the day. Shutdown coming through onto Heckham, and he does not get yet another one because Gragas is just gonna get away with his funny looking outfit there. But that is definitely a good pick, and as I said, this is exactly what they need. ELG will be in the driving seat yet again, but CE Snow definitely looking to contest, and getting some picks here and there will help them.
Yeah, absolutely, and also it has to be now that this Gragas is online, it has to be the Yasuo sitting on the side lane, because you want to have that roaming duo play together. You want to have the Gragas sitting on the side with the Yasuo. That's why you drafted him. That's why your team composition wants to execute. And considering the items, the items right now on that Gragas, the items on that Yasuo, you do have the setup to make it work, even if it's against a Fed set. So I find it really strange to see that Gragas walking up to the bot side, trying to play with that Rumble, especially given that Rumble has such a big ultimate in a team environment. Oh,
damn. Lethality Varus here.
Ouch.
Getting that kill there. A lot of burst damage together with the Senna, just holding her in place. Karma was not in a good position there. But yeah, 16 to 11 in kills. Drake about to spawn in a minute and 20, so that's the time they have remaining to make something happen, to shift this game back in their favor. Otherwise it will...
GG really showing Bullsaft how you actually play the Varus.
This is one way of going in, but it's actually ending your AD carry, because damn, Kai'Sa going down there and not surviving. I'm not quite sure this was the right play. Jon Snow missing his E, missing his Q, and Rumble is now running for his life.
They were seeing an AD carry on all alone in that mid lane, but less do they know that the whole team was just waiting in that brush to get out and protect that Kai'Sa. And right now, as Rumble is distracting everyone on the bottom side of the map, you can see they have already started the Baron. It's now sitting on 2,000 and a half health.
Ooh, but this is a good team fight. We do see the first member falling. Yasuo out of the picture, didn't get to use his ultimate. Now we do have Malik running for his life. He will be staying alive. Right now, Jon Snow is here to save the day. He's gonna ult the enemy Senna, and the Heckham is dying, so Baron is super low. He's gonna get the Baron. Oh no, Varus has got the Baron with his Q. What a crucial moment in this game.
My God.
ELG getting on top, getting ahead there with a Baron steal. Oh god, but the teamfight is kind of lost, so yeah, back and forth in this game. Really good execution there in the end by ELG to secure the Baron.
It is still 2-4-1, but there is still the Ocean Soul on the line now. Varus has teleported to try and get it before Sea Snow has time to
Senna
roam around
and
it. The set has already come.
Heckum is dying, so Baron is super low. Oh damn, he had the replay there. Running in the background as we see the Ocean Drake already falling. This will be
my
the soul.
God!
Oh no. So the soul in favor of ELG. And wow,
Varus, the hero of that game. Not only does he steal the Baron, but in the minute that follows, he also manages to steal the Ocean Soul and get his team so far ahead in just 2 Q spells. That is amazing.
yeah, that was indeed amazing. And I believe this will be the game. I'm not quite sure because they're about to respawn. Let's see how greedy ELG is. Are they gonna get it? Are they not just gonna go for the structures here? One inhibitor has fallen. Looking to make that one too. And
Well, they are going to get that topside inhibitor now. Looks like they are going to be resetting, and they still have plenty of time left onto that Baron buff to make their way to the bottom inhibitor and try to mark it 3. And with that composition and also the gold from the Baron, you can see now the IE popping up in the Yasuo's inventory. Sorry. In the Yasuo's inventory, rather than Death Cap completing on the side of that Rumble, you also have a third armor penetration item completing on the side of the Varus. He does have his Mortal Reminder now, and that Senna, not quite the Frozen Mallet completed, but she's just fine having all of these stats under her belt. And right now, a lot of the ELG members are all grouping up in that river bottom side of the map. As you can see now, Equalizer comes down, try and steal that blue buff away, doesn't manage to do so. But all of the ELG players are now grouping up towards the bottom side of the map, and the Baron is going to be helping them push.
Yep, we do have this maybe final stand here, but they are in such a bad position. You don't want to group up in this slight area because this is perfect for a Rumble Ultimate if it was up, or even Explosive Cast and the Yasuo ult followed up by that. Even the Senna and the Varus ult are going to be great in these enclosed spaces. Superman is coming in from the top, Superman's coming in from the middle lane, looking to make this the last stand here. Very aggressive, boosting 4-3, goes in. Heckum is already dead after disengage, as well as the Ice just falling instantly. Jon Snow will get one redemption kill maybe here, as we see Set in the back lane. Yes, the redemption kill has come through, as well as the Set. So 2 for 3 so far. As we see now Set chasing the poor Senna here.
2-4-3 so far, but there's no one to defend the base on the side of CE Snow, and look at that, ELG are already taking on the Nexus towers. Mordekaiser's down, and now everyone is hitting the Nexus like crazy. ELG, they are about to win this game, as there is strictly no one on the side of CE Snow, and the well plays are coming through. ELG will take that series 2-1. GG.
Yeah, GG indeed. What a way to win in the end there. Did not expect this outcome after seeing a bit of a shaky team fights, but then in the end, Varus MVP here, Marley coming in clutch twice actually, securing that Baron, securing that Ocean Drake Soul, and just playing lethality Varus to the best capabilities.
Oh my god. So yeah, I do think that in the end, this is just blue side wins, I guess. But yeah, in all seriousness, right, I think that this is a great lesson for ELG tonight. They now know that every time they do not have enough power in the early game to make these skirmishes work, they cannot play the games properly. Even though they manage to isolate one weakness of the enemy lineup, they still have to rely on their own forces to win these games, and eventually they still get to learn something while still winning that series. Now, on the side of CE Snow, you have to pay a lot more attention to your drafts, because it just makes it so easy for your AD carry and your bot lane to be in an uncomfortable position when your AD carry is mainly oriented towards utility picks like Varus and like Ashe. So you have to pay attention to your drafting phase, because I do believe that out of both games that that Connecting Snow lost, they didn't really play towards most of their strength, especially given when your AD carry goes for example, the lethality build when you have a Varus Karma bot lane. I mean the on-hit build, sorry. So yeah, overall, you still have to play towards your strength and try to pay attention to what is really making your playstyle's core identity.
Yeah, I'm looking here at this damage graphs real quick, and I can see Varus lethality just popping off, actually. As I said, not only did he manage to pick up 2 important objectives, but also did he carry the team fight, and then the Gragas Yasuo worked out as intended. Yeah. The Gragas giving this early level 2 gank already into the mid lane just to make sure that Yasuo is going to stay fine in lane, and then Seth did manage to pick him off once or twice even, but yeah, in the end, Yasuo felt comfortable enough, and I think if the game would have gone longer, they would have been in a better position with these champions, and Womble also winning the top lane matchup pretty hard. Yeah, so different objectives, different type of junglers in the end there, and one jungler getting an advantage in 2 lanes, one jungler dying twice. So yeah, not the best of games for the junglers there, because they didn't secure the objectives. It was Malik GG here on the AD carry role for ELG Sports, and yeah, congrats to him, because he did definitely have the biggest impact, in my opinion, about winning that game.
Absolutely, I just can't help but agree with you, and I like everything else that I wanted to say, basically said it before. So yeah, I want to see more of ELG. I want to see more also of CE Snow. I said that for these 2 teams, it's not really about going starting with a bang. It's more like setting up your expectations, and also it's about improving throughout the split, because eventually what you are aiming for is the playoffs, and so evaluating your overall strength is a very big factor coming into the split for newly formed teams.
Yeah, I think it was still a strong performance from both teams. I really did like the comeback here from CE Snow in the second turn of the game. Sorry, in the second game here, turning the game around. So definitely looked as a strong component and as a strong team. So they do have very good approaches to adapting after a loss, I think. So sadly, they did lose game number 3 here, and there's not more since it's a best of 3. But this is not the end of the world. It's a group stage, so there's a lot of more games to come. And I think we are looking at 2 very strong contestants here for this group stage to go into the first and second place. So both teams very strong. And yeah, we'll be pleased, as you said, to see more of them in the future. Until then, we will have, well, to say goodbye for now, but we'll be back tomorrow most likely with beautiful cast of the TG Platinum League. So TG Platinum means a lot of fun, a lot of memes, but yes, also some really quality League of Legends. So turn in tomorrow, most likely around 7 p.m. CST or a bit later, depending on which game you're going to be streaming. Stay tuned, follow our social media that you can see everywhere, and thanks for watching. See you guys next time. I actually realized now that the scene was not switched, but yeah, thanks for tuning in. See you guys again soon. This was Sherlock on the color casting with me, my man. Well done to you. Good job.
Thank you, and good job to you as well for building all of this community, and also still keeping going with the Platinum and Diamond League so far.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, man. Yeah, J7 here and Sherlock heading off, saying goodbye. Thank you for watching. See you guys tomorrow, hopefully with the usual audience. And yeah, let's head out and enjoy the night. Goodbye.
Goodbye.